Welcome, Wapham crew. Secure your tinfoil hats, buckle down tight, and hold on loosely as we soar over the rocky tops of the La Platas on a rocky mountain high, get sucked into the vortex of the Four Corners, and settle down snugly at mile marker 420 in colorful Colorado. It is Saturday, December 17th, Sunday, December 18th for those of you across the pond and beyond. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to you, and welcome to We Are Paradox Media's Late Night in the Rockies. I'm your host, TessaTNT, and I hope you guys had an awesome weekend so far, and thank you so much for joining us on one of our many outlets. If you're listening live right now, you're listening to us on KPNL Radio, which you can find at kpnl-db.com. You can also find us on Spreaker.com under We Are Paradox Media. You may also find us on your free time, whether you're working out at the gym, or just working it, on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iTunes, iHeartRadio, CastBox, Tumblr, SoundCloud, TuneIn Radio, Deezer, Podcast Addict, and Podcast Chaser. Make sure you go over to our YouTube channel. Subscribe, please. It'd be so nice of you. And make sure you like whichever episode you're listening to, and give that bell a nice little spanking, so next time we have an episode come out, you'll be notified of it, and you'll know that there's a new show to listen to. Also go over to our Facebook and Twitter, like us there. We got a lot of funny stuff being posted, and also some very pertinent paranormal stuff. So tonight I have a treat for all my guys and gals out there. Tonight we have the Tangipahoa Parish Paranormal Society with Miss Lindie Rayborn, Josh Williams, and Thomas Brumfield. So, Lindie McIver is from a small town in Mississippi. She's a mother of two amazing kids. She is a paranormal investigator with Tangipahoa Parish Paranormal Society. She has always been interested in the paranormal because of her own experiences. Since actually investigating, she has not only been able to help spirits, but many people along the way as well, and she has met some really amazing people who have become like family and taught her so much along the way. Then we have Mr. Josh Williams, who grew up in South Louisiana. He is the co-founder of Tangipahoa Parish Paranormal Society. He was always a skeptic until he started going out and investigating. The paranormal world was shown to him and has shown to him a lot of amazing things, and he has met a lot of great people along the way. Then we have Mr. Tommy Brumfield, who is the co-founder of Tangipahoa Parish Paranormal Society. He grew up in southern Louisiana and lived there his whole life. He's always loved horror movies, especially ones dealing with ghosts, and throughout his childhood he would experience weird things every now and then, but didn't think much of it at the time. As he got older, he thought maybe there's something true to all this, so he went out with an analog tape recorder and went to a local cemetery and caught an EVP. That's pretty much what did it for him. He has met so many great people along the way and has had a lot of people become like his family. He's looking forward to seeing what the future may hold. Well, welcome you guys, and thanks so much for hanging out with us tonight.
Hey.
Glad to be here.
Hey.
We finally got Twinkie Fingers on here. I'm so happy.
Yay, Twinkie!
No Twinkie today, but I'm still here. I'm still full from Olive Garden.
Ooh. Endless breadsticks and salad.
Olive What's that?
Olive Garden?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Y'all have those up there?
Yeah. Yeah, that's why I said endless breadsticks and salad, and you guys are like, what? Well, we have that here.
I came home and cooked chili and passed out on the couch.
Nothing wrong with that.
So I'm excited.
I don't even know what I had.
Huh?
I don't even know what I had to eat. I couldn't even pronounce the name of it.
Oh, no.
I just pointed to it. I'm like, yeah, I want that. What's that?
So you don't pronounce it, you just eat it. You just go for it.
That's right. Yeah,
and don't ask what's in it.
Oh, yeah. That could get pretty scary sometimes.
Yeah. As long as it tastes good, I'm gonna eat it. Y'all know me.
That's what I was going to ask. You can't pronounce it, but did it at least taste good?
Oh yeah, yeah, real good.
As long as it wasn't quail eggs, we're good.
Figured that was gonna come up.
Do we want to talk about that on here? Or what?
I have your poo noodle ordered. Don't worry.
I want to know what you guys talk about. So yeah, we can talk about that on here.
I'm sorry, Tommy.
Okay.
Go ahead and get it all.
Yeah, you know me. I don't care.
All right.
You can tell the story.
Who wants to tell it?
Huh?
Who wants to tell that story?
You want me to tell it?
Yeah, you tell it.
Yeah.
Well, thank God it was a local investigation. I bought a jar. Lindie, I hear you laughing. I bought a jar of quail eggs, and I guess I was being greedy and ate the whole jar. And on top of that, we were all meeting here at my house, and my drunk neighbor came over and brought a half a smoked turkey. And I ate all of it too. Huh? It
was really good, by the way.
Oh, yeah, it was good. So we went on about our way, and as soon as I got there, I was once we got to the location, about 20 minutes after being there, I was just kind of distant, like my stomach went to cramp.
Uh-oh.
So I asked Josh, yeah, I was like, oh my God, so there ain't no way I can make it through the night. So I looked at Josh, he was driving, he said, you want to take a ride? And I'm like, man, I'm hurting bad.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, you know when I'm acting weird, so. You know. So I told everybody, I said, I'll be back. I said, we'll be back in a minute. Lindie's like, you got to go poo-poo? I said,
leave it to me. And then, of course, he's in Josh's brand new truck riding there.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Got rid of that new car smell real fast, huh?
And then the GPS sends us in circles.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. We were trying to take the fastest route. Well, it took us around this big old circle, and 20 minutes later, we wound up in the same spot we just left. I'm like, oh, my God. So,
oh, no.
And what's funny, though, is, like, we're always messing with Tommy, telling Tommy he needs to eat before a location, because typically when we're in the middle of a session, like, his stomach starts growling, and that's all you hear is his stomach growling, and we're having to, like, in the middle of a session be like, okay, that's Tommy's stomach, you know. So typically, like, I'll bring him, like, Twinkies and stuff or something, you know, to snack on. Like, that's kind of where Twinkie Tingers came from. That's a whole other story.
I was about to ask, because last time I was like, either he's a well-hung lesbian or he likes Twinkies.
Well, typically, I'm, like, bringing him food. I'm like, eat so your stomach's not talking. And then after that last location, I was like, okay, you're no longer allowed to eat. I was like, from now on, I'm going to bring you a roll of toilet paper. And then
as long as you don't bring me a jar of hot quail eggs, I'm good.
Well, and then, like, the other weekend, like, my son escorted their daughter to a dance, so we were down there, and me and Chanel are sitting there talking, and we're like, you know what would be good? To get you a bucket and Chanel's like straight coon ass. She can't understand half of what she says. I have to be like, huh?
I love
but
that.
She was like, I'm going to get you a 5-gallon bucket. And we're going to get a pool noodle and put on top of it. And the way she said it, it was like, we're going to get you a poo noodle. And like, we sat there and cracked up about that like all night long. Like, we're going to get you a poo noodle.
From like South Louisiana, so you know, like the Cajun country they call it. So she's like, instead of saying pool, she said poo.
Poo.
So
poo noodle.
Yeah, say it. Say it, Tommy. It's so funny when you say it.
A poo noodle. So that's kind of where that came from. Or that is.
But,
go ahead.
Twinkie Tingers, like, you know, of course, like, we always bring him a Twinkie. We're like, you need a Twinkie before we go. But, like, Tingers is because of his toes. His toes are like freaking fingers. And so
he can pinch people, throw rocks. I think it's a southern thing.
I the doorknob if I'm barefooted and got full hands. So
Heck yeah. Make me a peanut butter jelly sandwich.
yeah. Well, that might be kind of hard to do, but
Poor Tommy, he's always like the one of the jokes, like, bless it.
yes, well, it was me. I'm the one that gets picked on.
Well, I was super excited.
We still have to come up with Josh a nickname, though, because he doesn't have one yet. He needs one.
Oh, I'm good. Oh, I'm good.
oh no, you got to be part of this. I've known Josh for, how long we known each other? 12 years? Something like that?
About 12 years, yeah.
Yeah, and I still don't know what a nickname can be for you.
I know, he's always so quiet.
I know, he's like laid back. You could call him Joe Coo instead of cool, like poo.
Yeah, well, yeah, maybe this year we all need to get a pool and go swimming.
Yeah, go to poo. Go swimming in the poo.
Get you a poo noodle.
Well, we got 2 coon asses in the house, so I'm super excited. My grandma Lolita, who I inherited through my dad's second marriage, was from Louisiana, and every Christmas she would read us the night before Christmas. Do either one of you guys know how to do the night before Christmas in your best coon ass accent?
Oh, no.
"'Twas the night before Christmas, and all to the house."
You would need Chanel for that, because Chanel's got like this thick coon ass accent.
Maybe second hour we could get her in to do it or something. That'd be awesome.
Well, yeah. Maybe the next time.
She's not passed out.
Yeah, she's already in bed sleeping. She's got to get up at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Maybe you guys could come on for the Christmas show, because we're doing a show on Christmas night, and she could read us the night before Christmas, even though it is Christmas. But that'd still be cool. I did it once, a couple years ago on the show, and did my best impression of it. But there just ain't nothing like a true coon ass doing it.
See,
I think that would be cool to listen to. I think that'd be good.
Heck yes, I'd love it.
But her accent's not that bad. But her sister and her mom and dad, that's the ones.
Woo!
Well, like, I understand most of what Chanel says, but there's times when she gets to talking fast, I'm like, slow down, Holly. Repeat that.
They tell me, like, what did you just say?
You live with her.
You're like, stop, rewind, repeat.
Yeah, and then we'll start arguing because I don't know what she's talking about.
You never listen to me.
Yeah, because I can't understand you. I know, that's a shame.
Well, there's different Christmas traditions all throughout the world. So I know the Nightmare Before Christmas, Louisiana style, is one. But are there other things that you guys do down in Louisiana that are different than other states? Like maybe Santa Claus has alligators or whatever pulling his sleigh through the bayou.
They're not like bayou people where they're at, though. Like, they're not like,
far down. Yeah,
they're not that far south, should I say.
I see. Yes, every time I think of parish, I think of, like, far down south, So that's why I'm whisked away to that area, that region.
Yeah,
a lot of people think the same way. They think alligators and all that, but we're not that far down.
You never know with all this weather change and this crazy weather, as far as high winds and crazy-ass tornadoes, something might swoop up and land in your backyard. They might start migrating.
Yeah, we're kind of, like, in between Baton Rouge and Slidell. I don't know if you know where that's at.
Yeah.
I'm sure you know where Baton Rouge is.
Yeah.
At least on the map. Yeah, we're kind of like right in the middle.
Very nice. So, Tommy...
And I'm like an hour north of where they're at, so...
That is so cool. And you're not in Louisiana, right? You're just, like, right across the border?
Yeah, I'm in Mississippi, but, like, literally just right over the state line, so...
Well, I'm just super stoked that you guys got together in the first place, and we kind of touched on that last time you were on the show, but we really didn't get Tommy's take. I was like, man, I wish Tommy was in, but I think he was working that night.
Yeah.
But Tommy, if you want to kind of talk about how you and Josh got together. I almost called Josh Scott for some reason. You and Josh got together, and how...
But
Go ahead.
So,
What?
I said that's my middle name, Scott.
Oh, is it? Oh, that's crazy. Okay, cool.
That is pretty cool.
Back years ago, my ex-wife, she worked at the Piggly Wiggly, which is, Josh, she's a manager there now. And you were, what, the assistant manager back then?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Well, he had a couple people that he has tried to, form a team with and whatever, and then my ex-wife came on. She works at that store, so she came home. She's like, hey, I know, you got somebody at the store that he works in, he does the paranormal stuff too. And I'm like, oh, here we go again, another... another loser, like I've been, not loser, but,
Weekend warrior.
And,
Like a weekend warrior, somebody that just wants to go for shits and giggles and not take it seriously. And
exactly. And so I'm like, okay, because she's like, yeah, he's got his own website and this and that. I said, okay. She said it's him and another guy. And so I went to the store, met up with him, and then I think either that following weekend or that same night or whatever it was, 2 days, whatever. Him and the other guy, Mickey, he came. They came to the house. We got to talk about it. And, okay, well, maybe this will work out, because he had a lot more knowledge with this stuff than the people in the past that I've dealt with, and whatever. And just from then on, like that's pretty much how it started with us. And our first investigation together was this little cemetery right here in Independence, which is like one town next to where I live at. And we just kind of went out there and we just hit it off. And 12 years later, here we are.
Well, you remember that EVP we called that first little cemetery, right?
Yeah, that's what I was trying to think of. I can't remember which one it was.
That's the one that sounded like it was talking inside the crypt. It was muffled.
Was that on Hook Road Cemetery?
Hook Road, yeah. Hook Road.
Yeah, okay, yeah, that might have been the first EVP we called, which is probably the next investigation we went on.
Yeah, that's where I said on it.
Huh?
We did Colonial the first time, didn't we?
Yeah. That was the first one we did. I think the next one was Hook Road. And the story is with that one is there's a little doll house, which is actually a tomb. A 4-year-old little girl was buried there.
Oh, I've seen that. Not personally, but on videos.
Oh, really? Okay, well, yeah, and the story is, if you knock on the grave 3 times, it's supposed to knock back, but, you know how that is. That's just a myth. We've tried it, and nothing works, but there is definitely activity in there. Now, that particular grave is in the front right-hand corner of the cemetery. But most of the activity starts, or happens towards the back. Like you get like chills and, EMF readings and all that. And that's where you get most of the EVPs. Now, around the dollhouse, we never really caught anything. As hard as we've tried. So, I mean, that's just a myth.
It seems pretty quiet, and it makes me wonder, was it more active before her parents were buried there with her? Because I know, she had died at an early age, and I know that the dollhouse that is there now was not the original one. I think they came in and rebuilt it because the original one had started to decay or whatnot. But I think once the mother and father were buried, like, it kind of makes sense to me that maybe she was quiet after that because they finally found each other or something. I don't know. I'm just assuming, but... Okay, well, that makes sense. I never knew it was rebuilt. Yeah, I think it was like a Girl Scout troop or something. I remember looking at different pictures on different people that have gone there and investigated and such. And there was one from a long time ago, and it had 2 women and a bunch of little girls, which I think it was like a Girl Scout troop. So I think they all got together, and probably, most likely, some of the dads showed up and helped with the structure and everything. Because from what I heard, it was originally like a wooden dollhouse, but now it's brick, right? Like a red brick with the overhangs over the window and such.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, it's actually like a white brick, smooth, like cement, not really brick, but got like a greenish blue roof on it.
Huh. Maybe
And
this
2
is a different
columns in the
one.
front.
Yeah, I could be thinking of a totally different one.
Well, I was actually trying to find a photo of it right quick, but
Yeah, because that's the only one that I had heard about throughout history was, and it's right there kind of in the front of the cemetery near the road.
yeah.
Like on the right side.
Yeah, so perhaps it was white originally and now it's red brick. I don't know.
It's been a while since I've been out there. I know it's been a white brick now for years.
Yeah, let me
take a ride out there.
Yeah, because I'm gonna have to look up the dollhouse too, because I'm like, I know it was like 2-tone, like red and orange, the one that I saw, and it had like little metal overhangs on the door, and there's like a little bed sort of thingy built in there, and different toys and such, and it's got a door and windows, and
that's a different one that
okay.
I was talking about. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm sorry.
My dog's barking.
The hellhounds have awakened.
Yeah,
I think the date
he's mad. He's on a chain. He's mad. But he likes to run next door and kill my dad's cat, so he has to stay on a chain. But my other babies are like out here running around, and he's like, I'm not okay with that. Let me off.
Yeah, I think the date on this tomb was 1934 to 1938, I believe.
Well, see, this one's not too far off. It's 1933, 1929, 1933. So she was 4 years old. This one's in Alabama.
Oh, that's in Alabama?
Yeah, that's. Oh, we need to check that one out.
Yeah, I was muted, so I'm going to repeat for the listeners. The one I was talking about was Oakwood Cemetery in Lynette, Alabama. Sorry about that.
Where is Lynette, Alabama?
I've never even heard of that one.
Yeah, I'll take a snapshot of it real quick, and then I think we might have a group message, but if not, I'll just send it to... I'll just start a group chat. But yeah, her name was Nadine Earls.
Okay, yeah, the one we're talking about is Jeanette Favre, like Brett Favre.
Yes.
And another story, too, was they say way back then, right after the death, the father of the little girl, he couldn't deal with, the death of the baby. Well, not the baby, but, toddler or whatever. And so he hung himself right in front of the grave on the little oak tree, right inside the gate of the cemetery. But the tree is only about a foot wide. And I'm thinking 30 years ago, however many years ago, that like 80 years or 90 years ago, whatever it was, it's kind of, the tree is too small. Unless there was another tree there at the time, so I don't know. But like I said, we never got any kind of activity in that particular area. So who knows?
Yeah, I thought it was very unique, the when I was telling you guys about, but as I'm looking at this certain article here, there's actually quite a few. That is so cool. What a cool little, like, grave site to build for your little one. Very sad.
Yeah, but as a kid, we used to take hay rides out there, and of course the driver would always mess with us and try to get out and get off the trailer and go knock on the graves, and then he would act like he was out of gas and had everybody petrified. So, which we hadn't been out there in quite a couple of years probably. I think we need to get back out there just to see.
Yeah, I need to go to this one.
Yeah. What'd you say, Josh?
So we need to get Lindie out to that one.
Yeah, she hadn't had the privilege to be out there. It's a small cemetery. It's not very big, but it's pretty active most of the time. Just like anywhere else, you go out there, you might not get anything.
Yeah, it's true, and it's a lot of people think of it as if, it's like being on one of these TV shows where they just show the most exciting parts, or they emphasize things and act things out or whatnot that aren't really happening. Mm-hmm. I can name a few names, but
yeah, it's not like that at all.
No, it can be pretty monotonous at times, but I still love the heck out of doing it.
Oh yeah.
No, we have a lot of people that comment on our live videos, and they're always like, "You need to do more. You need to ask it." And I'm like, a lot of times, you sit there in silence just to kind of get a feel for the actual noises that the building itself makes, or the location, to kind of decipher what is what, And I don't think people understand that. They just think you go in there and you're just chit-chatting with them the whole time, and it just doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like goofing around when I was a kid. But okay, your picture just came through. That's nice.
Yeah, they had a nice one that they built there.
I am still freaking out about that picture you sent me of that little girl and her mean mugging. That is an awesome freaking capture.
I know. She's like, "Why the heck are you taking a picture of me right now?"
She looks like my daughter at that age, because Delaney looked like that. She would take
What was that taken at?
Let's see. That was at the Durango and Silverton Narrow Gauge Railroad Museum, of all places. Yeah, pretty interesting. Okay, so I kind of sent these out of order, but yeah, I'll send that to this group chat too, because holy shnikes, so we went there, and I'm a night owl, so I really hate mornings, and my mentor at the time, she's like, we got into the museum, and we're going to go at 8 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, you said 8 p.m., right? No, 8 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, holy shit. Okay, so we went and did this preliminary investigation, and it was so much information came through. They'd been calling her Emmy, but her name was actually Kate Johnson, this woman that's also in the picture, trying to get out of the picture really quick. The little girl's name was Emmy. Come to find out, Kate Johnson was the older woman. So, yeah, it's pretty interesting. I'll share that picture with you guys too, but it was amazing.
I showed it to them when you sent it to me, because I was actually with them. We were headed to a location whenever you sent me that, and I was like, holy crap, look at this.
Oh, wow. Yeah. That was here in Durango, Colorado.
Yeah, that sounds like a pretty interesting place.
Sorry, I'm going to try to unsend this really quick. I put it in the wrong order. Dang it.
Always having technical difficulties when I'm on the phone.
Right? And Chris Garcia, the Garcia effect. But yeah, that was the most epic one. And we, after Kate Johnson got released, we tried to go back in there and figure out what was going on with Emmy, but the brakeman wasn't having none of it. He's like, nope. And he was so vulgar. What a jerk.
He's one of those you got to put in your place, though. Like, we had that discussion last time. Like, he's one of those you got to be like, okay, step back. Like, I'm done talking to you. Like, you know.
That's what we did. Like, after he chased Emmy off, because he came in. First, we were talking to her. We were getting somewhere. He came in, started cussing, and sorry, frog. Started being absurd and mean to her, and so she ran off, and then he sat there and continued to insult us, probably because we're women, and say stupid things, and we're like, we're not talking to you, we're here to talk to her. And I actually got a medium that is supposed to be able to release spirits to come in once to get rid of the guy, and he came in, and he's like, no, he doesn't want to leave, and I believe in free agency, so I'm not going to make him. I'm like, this guy does not need to be here. This guy needs to leave.
I got something like that we fixing to deal with at a location if we get back there.
When are we going? I'm ready.
I don't know, because you're going to be out of town that weekend, so we got to reschedule it.
Yeah, that whole place is just messed up.
So is this
are we going next weekend, or how are we doing it?
Oh, next weekend's my birthday weekend. We could go.
Heck yes.
No, I mean the weekend after I get back.
Oh, yeah, we could do that too.
Yeah. Yeah, what, next weekend is what?
Christmas.
Well, we got Christmas, and then we got...
And then a legend was born the very next day. Whoop, whoop.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah.
Have a cool one, baby.
Who dat? So you guys...
Y'all wanna...
Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Well, I was about to say, you guys, during our last show, I think it was the very next day, or perhaps shortly after that, you guys were supposed to go on this epic investigation somewhere, and I was like, man, I wish I would have waited a little longer, but then I got you back now. Where did you guys go, and what happened? Is this the place you're talking about, or...?
This is where Tommy had to go poo-poo.
Oh, no. That's why you only eat a couple quail eggs and not the whole thing. That's why you share with your friends.
Well, next time I don't think I'm going to eat any at all.
Don't be gun shy.
It was actually... It was a private client, and Tessa, I think I sent you that picture of that's how we got on the subject, I think, of the little girl picture was what was caught on a game trail camera. And it was almost looked like, I'm going to say it was almost like it was descending. Like, it was really cool. I think I sent you that picture, though.
Was it in a place that kind of looked like a hospital, or was this more recent?
No, this was out on a piece of property.
Let me look.
There's actually 2 trailers there, but they have like a couple barns, and there actually used to be a really big house up on kind of the middle section of the property that burned back in the day. I don't remember what year they said it burned.
Oh,
but,
shit, I see it now. Yeah, he's like glowing.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
And it was actually kind of like in a little dip, like where they have like a little horse arena and stuff at.
Yeah.
It was really cool, though. I haven't really reviewed any of like the stuff from then, but as far as stuff that happened that night, I know I kept feeling like my head was being touched. Like, I was like, somebody's messing with my hair. And then, of course, like, Chanel was like, yeah. I was like, is something touching me, like, on top of my head? And she was like, yes, like, they had the SLS, like, mapping a figure and, like, touching my head.
Oh, wow.
But as far as, like, the EVPs go and stuff like that, I haven't reviewed any of that yet because work's been crazy. I don't know if the boys have reviewed any of their stuff yet, but...
No,
That's the hard part. That's where you got to kind of get a tech person in your team, because it's so difficult. That, for me, is the hardest part, is going through all the evidence.
Is going back, yeah, I know.
Yeah. You know what you experienced at the time, what happened to you, and the personal experiences, etc., what you see on the SLS camera. But as far as EVPs and everything, it could take months to go through that stuff.
Yeah. Well, I know we did, like, I was just walking around taking some stills, and I know, like, I captured several, like, amazing orbs. It was almost like some shadow figures in the barn area. Trying to think of really if anything else. Like, we heard some weird noises, like, when we were walking, trying to kind of debunk some stuff. But I don't really think, as far as anything just like super exciting happening. We did get to check out a really cool ring. That was
made out of bone.
A bone?
Yeah, that apparently like a slave had carved, and it was actually found like in New Orleans, like during construction. It was really cool. I can send you those pictures.
Yeah, I think he said he found it like 4 feet deep in the ground on. I cannot remember the road or street he found it on.
I don't remember either, but it was like downtown, like French Quarter area. I do know that.
Yeah.
Where the slave had found it, or the homeowner?
The homeowner.
Okay.
He was actually down there working and had found it and
took it back home.
Yeah, of course, they've got it sealed. They've had it blessed and whatnot. Like they're kind of, after they kind of did some digging and were like trying to figure out like what it was. And once they found out, they were like, okay, I'm not sure I really want this at my house. And now it's like sealed and like crazy. But they did bring it out and let us kind of look at it and hold it and take some pictures. So that was kind of cool.
What did the carvings look like?
It wasn't really like, to me, it wasn't really like any type of design. It was almost just like different lines going across it. I'll send you pictures of it. Or Josh, if you're in that message, you got the pictures, you can shoot it over to that group chat.
I'll send them right quick.
Because I think we took them when Josh was home.
And he had it like in a little small Ziploc bag, wrapped up in a paper towel, inside of an envelope, inside of a mason jar.
Yeah.
Inside of a safe lockbox.
Oh yeah. She was like, she absolutely refused to touch it. She was like, I'm not touching that thing. Like, y'all are gonna have to get it out.
Where's the tongs? Why did it?
Speaking of things that we need to go get, we do need to go get that duffel bag too at some point soon.
John just said, why did it end? What does that mean? Oh. Yeah, it looks like she took like some very, very extra special precautions for that. Her old man brought it home and she's like, I ain't touching this with a 10-foot pole. You gotta be crazy.
Yeah.
Where's my special oven mitts?
She was very uneasy when it came to that, so.
Yeah, now.
Now I gotta look in my box.
But as far as that location, it wasn't anything like just super exciting. Like, we did capture a lot on the SLS.
Oh my gosh!
I don't remember if we got anything with the REM pod. I don't think we did, but
this is a bone that was made into a ring.
Yes.
Holy!
And whoever
shnikes.
was had some big fingers.
Wow. Twinkie fingers. Could be a distant relative.
I might fit on my boot.
I love it.
That is very creepy, but at the same time kind of romantic, and it makes you wonder where this bone came from. Could it have been used like in some sort of love spell or something?
What they pretty much told us with the research that they had done on it, that a slave had made it. But I mean, that's a very good, thought as to what it could have been used for. I mean, they don't really know anything,
Yeah, and also it could be perhaps some sort of animal bone instead of a human bone, I hope. But you never know.
Yeah, I was kind of wondering the same thing.
I think we all were at some point.
Yeah.
What do you guys, John or Josh and Tommy, what are you guys thinking as far as like, did you pick up on anything when you were holding it in its little package?
Well, I never got to hold it, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
I did. I did. No, I just feel like it's kind of like meant to be where it's at now, like I feel like they're keeping it and doing it justice to where it's at. So I think it's pretty happy with where it's at right now.
So this guy found it on a construction job when they were digging and kept it.
Yes.
Wow.
And it was 4 feet deep in the ground, but it was in New Orleans, so New Orleans floods all the time. It's 6 feet below sea level.
Yeah, it could have washed away some land or something.
Right, that makes it cool to me too, because it could have came from God only knows where,
Didn't they say you found it back in the 70s, I think? Or
Yeah, I think he said like 74 or something like that. Yeah, it was back in the 70s, when he found it.
Yeah.
I guess he's had it for that long, which I would have done the same thing. I would have kept it.
Right.
Now, y'all remember in the house, the trailer that we were in, the stove came on by itself.
Oh, yeah, that, and you remember that vent, like, being super hot, and then when we went back there again, like, it was cold?
Yeah, and there was no electricity. Yeah, right, and there was no electricity. And there was electricity, but nothing was on. Like, the air conditioner wasn't on. Because they don't stay in there. They just use it for storage and stuff. So I don't know.
Well, it's cool that they really haven't had any like negative effects having it with them, correct? So that's good.
Yeah,
well, I think they did enough precautions too, though, to not have any negative effects from it.
So are you talking about the wrapping process, or did they do anything
else?
else?
Oh, yeah. Well, no, they actually went, did they have it blessed, or they just went and had it, I think she said she dipped it in holy water, maybe, and they went, what was it? She went to New Orleans or something and went to the church and I think dipped it in holy water, and I'm not exactly sure what all they did with it.
They were both pumping at the same time, so it was hard to keep up.
Yeah, they were.
I know they did something to it. I'm just not sure what. But, they didn't say anything about, anything negative.
I didn't feel anything negative from it, and I didn't feel anything negative from the property itself. And they were actually talking about that as far as, is there a way to get rid of what's there? And I was like, to be honest, if it's not bad, why would you want to get rid of it? I mean, let it come and go and do its thing, And
the homeowners, they're buried on the property.
Yes.
So maybe it's I'm thinking it might be one of them, because they did say the light in the barn. They got horses and I think they got a donkey in there too. But anyway, they said now and then the light would come on, and they say every night when his dad was alive, he would go out there and feed the horses and this and that. So I'm just wondering if it's him going out there checking on the horses, unless there's an electrical problem. But
that is cool.
Yeah, but the way it was, the way they had that set up, I mean, it was an actual switch, that you had to turn the light on. So,
yeah.
I don't know, I just kind of feel like whatever's there is probably attached to one of them, and it being that it wasn't his parents that were there or whatever, I kind of think it was more along his side, of what's there. I don't think it's anything bad, though, and I don't think anybody's coming on their property doing those things either.
Right, because he said that's the whole reason he put that game camera or whatever out there, was just to see if somebody was out there messing around. But if I was a thief, which I'm not, but if I was, I wouldn't go out there and turn the lights on.
In the barn with the animals.
And the camera he had.
Josh found him a new friend that night.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, let's make fun of you now.
Yeah, let's tell that story. So we go in this barn just to go check out the animals. That was the one place we hadn't been. We'd been all up in this other barn that had just old motorcycles and all kinds of stuff in it, but we were like, we're going to go see the animals. So it's just kind of like a split barn, and we're all looking to the left in this pen because there's a ghost in there. And Josh goes to turn around, not realizing that there's a horse in the stall behind. And he turns around. Oh God, it scared the crap out of him. It was so funny.
Well, nobody told me I was petting a goat, turn around, and bam, he's right there in front of me.
And he had his head hanging over the stall door and everything. Josh turned around and nearby kissed him.
Yeah, feed me, Seymour.
As you can probably tell, there's a whole lot of laughs and like talking shit to one another when we're on locations together.
Well, I think that's really important. You know, a lot of teams go in and they're super serious and whatever. And I don't know, through my own experience and whatnot, I feel like there's a lot better evidence and different things that happen when you do have that positive energy coming through and you're having a good time and you're joking around instead of like being serious and boring and monotonous. You know, it's good to have fun with it and put that positive energy into it.
We feel the same way, you know, because that's kind of when we get the most evidence. Sometimes it's like when we're just ignoring, you know, whatever's in the location. You know, we're just sitting around chatting, and that's when stuff starts to happen.
Yeah, they're like, hey, what are you guys talking about?
Well, the boys have been kind of outnumbered with us girls, so, you know, they kind of catch the brunt of everything.
So Josh was saying that, oh no, I'm sorry, never mind. Oh my goodness. We have a visitor. I'm not going to mention it right now. I will let you know on break, and we'll know where to go from there, but I don't want to cause any issues or whatever on the air. But yeah, if you guys are having any issues with the Spreaker is notorious for this. So sometimes you'll be listening to the show and all of a sudden it cuts out, like it'll end or it won't be playing anymore or whatnot. All you have to do is reboot or restart the show and it will start again. But yeah, Spreaker, man, I don't know how many times I've said, I don't know why I'm paying for this because it just has so many different issues and they try to fix things and they're making it worse. And I don't know, I came from, maybe I didn't, but I was raised to know if it ain't broke, don't try to fix it. You know, leave it alone. And they just got to keep fidgeting and messing with things. But yeah, if you guys get interrupted on here, just reset Spreaker. It should work. You can also go to KPNL Radio at kpnl-db.com and find the show as well. Live. Sorry, guys.
Well, it's fine.
But yeah, it's good to have that positive energy, and it does like intrigue the ghost because, like I said, a lot of people go in there, they can be antagonistic, they could be too serious, and you know, I don't know, I try to treat ghosts or spirits as if they're like you and me because they've just gone to the other side or past this realm or whatever, and treat them with respect and, you know, do things for them you would for anyone else. Be cordial. Be respectful. Don't be an asshole.
I mean, there are the occasional asshole spirits you got to put in check, but for the most part, I mean, you got to be respectful of them. I mean, as you would want them to be respectful of you, you know, so.
Yeah.
Well, here in about 5 minutes, we're going to go to break. So did you guys want to say anything else about this last investigation that you did to kind of wrap it up? Put a pretty little bow on it?
What y'all think?
But the ring was cool. Man.
That was very unique, for sure.
Yeah, and the whole threat.
I wasn't really, like, knowing what to expect from that location, but, I mean, we did capture some stuff. I mean, of course, you go into every location wanting it to be, like, extremely active and whatnot, which this one was not, but, I mean, we did get some good stuff while we were there. And she did talk about, like, some of the info, like, of the house that burned there is actually, like, a lot of that info and stuff is actually in a museum located there in town. And we've actually been trying to get in there. Tommy's supposed to be working on that, getting us in there to maybe do an investigation. So maybe if we get in there, we can actually learn a little bit more about the property itself.
Yeah, Tommy.
And the original owner, so.
Excuse me. I'm just giving you shit.
He's slapping on the job.
And, yeah, that location, too, that's actually my sister's ex-boyfriend's parents' property.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I stayed there before. I think they went on vacation or something. There was nobody on the property but me, and I've never had any kind of experience there, which I've never heard any stories either until recently. And then, then they contacted us on Facebook and wanted us to come out there. And until then, like I said, I never had any kind of experiences there or any kind of bad feelings until we investigated, which it still wasn't a bad feeling, but like the stove coming on by itself. I don't know. We had a lady there. She swears she wasn't leaning up against the stove, but all of a sudden her back, the back of her jacket, the lower part started getting hot. So that's when she said something. She turned around, there was a big blue flame coming up from the stove, and I went and tested it out. And you have to push that knob in and at least turn it about a half an inch, if not a whole inch, to turn it on. So I don't think there's any way she could have accidentally moved and turned it on. I mean,
I'm not trying to be rude or anything, but did she have a big old booty?
No.
Okay.
No.
I'm just trying to rule some stuff out.
Well, while we were in there, we did actually get some REM pod hits and whatnot. And we did get a little bit of activity. We had I had a pendulum. We were using it. We got a little bit of activity with that, but nothing major. I don't know.
I forgot about the pendulum.
Well, that's good. See,
and Tommy said I went poo in that trailer the whole time too, instead of leaving locations.
Yeah, but some people are weird about pooping in certain places, You
Well, he didn't realize it was open and that we could go in there. He was like, "Now she goes."
because the owners were not home at the time, and as soon as me and Josh left, the owner texted me. So, hey, we're on our way home. I'm like, oh crap!
They literally pulled up right before Tommy and Josh, because I walked out there to meet them and talk to them or whatever. They had literally just walked up and were talking with me and Chanel and Howard and his wife and stuff. And about that time, Tommy and Josh pulled up, and then she was like, "Oh, y'all can go in the trailer up here too, and there's a bathroom in there." Went right there the whole time.
That was some real need to know information right there. It was impotent.
Yeah.
I think at one point Josh offered him a shirt or something he had in the back of his truck.
Just use your socks. It's okay. You can buy a new pair. As long as you gave it a proper burial. Just kidding.
As long as it wasn't in Josh's new truck.
Yeah.
Oh,
poor guy.
Hey, Josh, I got a shirt back there you can use. I was like, let's go. And then it seemed like I know it wasn't, but it seemed like it took forever to get back home.
Josh going 10 miles an hour on his new ride so he could get a speed ticket.
This baby's coming. You better put the pedal to the metal, boy.
The GPS took us all around, and 20 minutes later, we saw him. Oh my God!
That's when everything happens. Gotta go. Nothing works right. Nothing.
And of course, Tommy's being all subtle. He's like, "We'll be back in a minute." And of course, my first thing was "You gotta go poo poo."
You gotta go poo poo.
And Tommy's just looking at me like, "I hate you, Lindie."
I gotta go drop my little brown babies off at the pool.
Tommy's like,
he was quiet. He wasn't saying nothing that night,
He was strangely quiet. He was thinking deeply about something.
I was playing the guy, and I didn't have to sneeze.
Right?
As soon as I said it, though, Tommy just looks at me he shakes his head "Why, Lindie, why?" See what you get yourself into with me?
Didn't you tell me at one point you tried to kneel down well, I can't do that or something like that? Or
oh no, you leaned right into it or what?
That's a big no-no.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I was trying to squat down.
I think he went to walk off to fart or something at one point. Was like, nope, I can't do that.
Yeah.
No, I was scared. I was scared to fart.
Yeah, I think that was the highlight of that investigation right there. Yeah.
Well, on that note, you guys, we do have to go to our first music break. So on this break, we have Music for Savages by Miss Mia Savage, who originally hails from Phoenix, Arizona, but she lives up here in Bayfield. She's kind of like a snowbird. She goes back and forth. She's going to be singing Our New Reality, Singing to Your Grave, as well as Bury Me in Heaven. You guys don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this music break.
shit that he brings anymore. You're mine. You're mine. Tonight. You're mine. You're mine. You're mine. shit that he brings anymore. You're mine. You're mine. Tonight. You're mine. You're mine. You're mine.
Welcome back, and thank you so much for joining us this evening on We Are Paradox Media's Late Night in the Rockies. This evening, we have Miss Lindie Rayborn. We also have Mr. Josh Williams, as well as Tommy Brumfield. You guys, welcome back, and thank you so much for joining us this evening.
Thank you for having me.
Always
I
a
just
good
want to
time.
I just want to say thank you for saying all those nice things, Lindy. I don't know. It's like you said, we've never met before, but with me and Alyssa and Caden and so many different people that I've met through either other shows or on the internet or whatever, you feel like you've known each other forever. And it's kind of like,
Yeah.
I don't know, I call it my paranormal family because
Yeah.
it's just another extension of my family. And a lot of people tell me, your family's huge. And I'm like, I know it is. I've been building it for my whole lifetime.
Yeah, well, I mean, I definitely feel that way about you, girl. Like, for real. Like I said, like, I'm always like, I've never met her, but, like, I feel like I've known her my whole life. Like, she's badass. Like, y'all love her, too.
Yeah, eventually I'm
Constantly
going to
saying
get
that.
out to Mississippi. When I went out the Halloween, I got the tinnitus in my ears. We went down to New Orleans and then came back, but we all met down there in New Orleans, me and Alyssa and Caden and my sister, and I drove down there from Arkansas. We were going to stay in Mississippi for a while, but we had a lot of other crap to take care of. But I definitely want to go to Mississippi and back to Louisiana because there's just something about the South. I think every area is particularly different as far as its paranormal activity and different cryptids and different things that go on there.
Well, I was talking to Josh and Tommy, too, and so now I was like, we need to just plan a trip and go out there and Tussy and, like, see what she's got going on out there in the paranormal world, and us all do an investigation. Like, that would be cool.
Yeah, I was
Ooh,
excited when you
give
said
us
that.
a
I
new
was like,
outlet.
hell yes. But I get that threat a lot, and then nobody ever comes through with it.
Well, we will plan it, baby girl. We will plan it.
That would be
Yeah,
awesome.
Oh, I'm just saying Colorado would be cool to investigate out there.
Well, it's really
And
cool
plus-
right now. It's about 57 degrees Fahrenheit. It was 14 earlier today. I was like, are you freaking
Okay,
serious?
yeah, we're going to have to come in the summertime because I'm not a cold kind of girl.
Yeah.
Snow ain't my thing.
Spring
it
or
was
summer?
like 80 here today.
So how's the weather been over there for you guys? I hate to like really, really get off topic, but the weather recently to me is paranormal. Like, I was watching this video where it shows the map and the winds and the high rate of speed and how the storms in Kentucky and other places happened last time, and now it's like happening again. So pretty soon there will be other horrific storms, and I think it's just going to get worse and worse every year. But have you guys noticed anything different in your environment so far as weather, COVID, like just people's personalities, anything like that? Let's start with Tommy this time. And then we'll go Josh, and then we'll go Lindie.
As far as the weather, it's like the summers, like the winters are getting shorter and shorter. You know, like right now, you know, I'm sitting outside. It's 60-something degrees at the end of December. And I've been in shorts all day, sweating. I've been outside, whatever. And, 10 years ago, this time of year has been freezing cold. So I don't know. It's kind of weird. Like, we've been getting more hurricanes and more tornadoes, than what we had before. Because before, you never really heard of a tornado, hitting in this area.
Yeah.
And during what was the last hurricane? Ida.
Ida.
Well, come to find out, right across the road from for me, a tornado hit that touched down.
Wow.
Which I just realized that like a week ago. I'm like, man, I didn't realize it was that close. And you used to never hear about that. Except for the last couple of years. Well, until the last couple of years. And so I think one day we're not even going to have a winter, anymore. And when we do, it gets down in the 30s, maybe 20s, every now and then in the teens, and we'll see a little bit of snow. And it lasts about 2 or 3 days with a hard freeze and all that, and then it's back to 90 degrees again.
Right.
So,
I'm good with that. Totally good with that.
90's not bad.
So it makes no sense.
Yeah.
But that's the way it is here. So.
How about you, Josh?
Well, not only, the hurricanes and tornadoes, but just a simple storm that comes up, a thunderstorm, they're getting stronger, just like today.
Yeah.
They out of nowhere too,
And a lot of times they just come out of nowhere, like the sun can be shining, bright, pretty sky. 10 minutes later, the sky gets black, and it's on. Wind blowing, lightning, thunder, heavy rain, and then it's gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was watching accounts. Sorry, Lindie. I'll get to you next. Of the tornado that happened in Kentucky and such, and how short-lived the preparation was. Like, usually you'll hear the sirens, and then you have at least 5 minutes or so to get your shit together, or get your closet cleaned out, or wherever you're going to hide from this thing. I don't know. I saw a picture of these 3 girls. 2 were in the bathtub. 1 was standing outside, and the mom took a picture, sent it to a family members to say, oh, we're okay. And I guess the 9-year-old girl ended up dying. But like you said, it moves faster. And this thing I was watching the other night, it was showing the wind currents. And they're like, you see those little strips in white? Those are wind currents. And the longer the strip is, the faster it's moving. And so just naturally it's moving so much quicker. So I think weather's rolling in, and it's showing really, really cold spots, and then hot spots, and then cold spots, and then hot spots. And once those collide, that's your recipe for a freaking tornado. And so they're like, we could see something happening just like what happened this last week, coming up this next week. So it's like, I don't know. The president is like, yeah, rebuild here, blah, blah, blah. But why would you? This stuff is not going to get any better. It's going to get worse and worse. I think it'd be better to move to a different environment and get the heck out of Tornado Alley. And Tornado Alley is getting bigger. It's stretching. Like, we're getting tornadoes in Colorado now. I'm originally from Arkansas, so that's the only reason I talk about tornadoes. Tennessee is where I experienced the two at once.
I think it's in areas that typically don't see storms like that, they're getting storms like that now, though. And I've seen that here. I had 2 of mine. This is kind of a sore subject for me, just because I had 2 very close people to me die in a storm like hit Kentucky. They died on Easter Sunday a few years ago. And, like, as we were going to their funeral and whatnot, like, we actually went out to that little community to help clean up because we knew other people out there. And I don't think my kids understood, like, the destruction until we actually drove past their house. And once they saw it, like, my daughter, like, just broke down. Like, she was like, oh, my God, there was no way they could survive that. Because literally, like, I mean, the storm was probably a mile long. And you could see, like, the road, like, you could see where it had crossed over this road. And it, like, hit these houses over here. Skipped over this house across the road and almost landed directly on Robert and Paula. And it looked like, because where Robert and Paula lived, like, we actually knew the man that lived next door to Uncle Don, and we actually went and helped clear trees and stuff up out of his yard. And, like, literally where Robert and Paula lived, like, it looked like a freaking nuclear bomb had gone off. But then, like, just a few hundred yards, like, you could see this row of pine trees that are still standing, look like they haven't been touched.
Right. It's so strange.
And it's just, it's
paranormal.
So surreal, though. Like, you hear about all this stuff, but it's so surreal to actually go and see, like, the disaster itself, and then to know, like, you lost 2 loved ones behind that, and they didn't have a chance. Like, he was actually on the phone with his dad and was like, hey, it sounds like a freight train coming. I got to go wake Paula up. And, like, they didn't stand a chance. Like, when I tell you, like, the frame of their house, like, was wrapped around a tree.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, they found their stuff, like, I mean, just, it was just devastating, like, devastating. And, I mean, that's typically not an area that sees a whole lot of storms to that capacity, you know? Like, I think it's just going to be more and more, no matter where you move, areas of, oh, we don't get tornadoes, or we don't get this, you know? And I think more areas like that are going to start seeing those type of storms, you know?
Yeah, John in the chat room is saying cleaning up after that storm was absolutely devastating, especially the loss of our friends. There's some things you can't replace.
It was heartbreaking. Like, yeah, I mean, it was just heartbreaking.
Yeah. Like you said,
and there were
devastating.
so many people out there that lost everything, and then, like, the house next door was not touched, you know? Like, and, I mean, it's not just, like, a little, like, one little strip. I mean, it was, like, a mile wide. Like, I mean, just leveled to the ground, you know?
Jeez.
And like you said, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like, we kind of got lucky. I had 3 sections of my privacy fence down, and a few limbs in the yard, and that was it. And the neighbor next to me, which is probably 30 yards from my house, had a big oak tree, like, right through her living room.
Wow.
Which we were talking about that, though, when I was there. Like, y'all are just lucky, like, because I know y'all have that big, like, I guess it's an oak tree, like, in that yard behind y'all. Like, but I don't think even if it fell, it would have been close enough. But y'all are just lucky y'all don't have any big trees in your yard.
Yeah. Yeah, we got lucky. We got lucky on this one. We were out of power for like a week. Well, exactly a week.
Jeez, Pete.
Other than that, we were lucky compared to, you know, some people.
Yeah.
And I know, like, they were saying, like, Ida was as bad as Katrina, but for me, Katrina was worse. Like, we had more damage during Katrina, and we're out of power for way longer during Katrina than we were with Ida.
Maybe they're saying it's worse because it hit properties that were worth more money or whatever. I don't know. What is worth to certain people than it is to others? You can amount worth to different things. Because, like you're saying, I thought Katrina was way worse. I was like, thank God, because Katrina was catastrophic. It was insane. It caused so many different things.
And to be honest, like, where I live at, like, I mean, of course, like, where I work at, like, pretty much everywhere lost power there, which is like 20 minutes from here. But, like, where I actually live at, we never lost power during Ida. But during Hurricane Katrina, where I was living at the time, like, and I actually lived further north than what I live right now during Katrina, and I didn't have power for almost 2 months where I lived at there. I couldn't even get to my house. So, I mean, to me, Katrina was way worse. But, I mean, I know, like, everybody's opinion on that's different, and they say, oh, Katrina wasn't a 5, it was a 4, and blah 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 blah. But, you know,
look at what happened.
Katrina destroyed everything. I mean, it destroyed everything.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we were out of power for like 2 weeks, but I thought that was bad. But I didn't know Lindie was out of power for 2 months.
Well, you got to realize, too, like, where I lived at, though, like, literally was at my grandparents' old house, and it was, like, we're pretty much, I think there's 2 other houses on that road. It was literally on a gravel road, like, in the middle of nowhere. So, of course, we were going to be last to get power, you know. They're going to get the more rural areas first before they came out there to poor little Woolworth, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm sure if I lived closer to town, it would have been a lot sooner, but...
Right?
Right.
You live in the boonies?
Yeah, just a little bit. I like it that way, though.
Yeah, it's nice to be able to throw rocks at your neighbors sometimes, though, from your own yard. No, I'm just kidding. Well, with this last, tornado, it was down on the ground for a very long time. It was very massive.
Like, it went through, like, 4 states.
It was insane.
The one in
I think it started in western Arkansas, right up in the Boston area, which is where some of my family lives. I haven't checked on them yet, but I'm sure they're okay. I know. I have issues. I have some hard feelings towards them right now. I will reach out, but right now I just still need to get past some things. I'm sure they're fine. They're in this little cubby. So, but yeah, from western Arkansas up into Kentucky, I believe it was Tennessee. Was there another state? You said 4. What was the other one?
I want to say they said 4. Lord, mine is
Oh, maybe.
right now, but I
Yeah,
want to say
it was Missouri. You're right.
yeah, Missouri, I think, because I want to say it went through 4 states. It was like, I'm not even going to say how many miles it was, but I want to say it was like 280 miles, like that it was on the ground or some crazy, I don't know.
But did you say it was like 300 something miles per hour wind speed or something? Or
Yep.
like, that's
How
pretty
much?
crazy.
I don't know. It was outrageous.
It was like
I think it was like
306.
190.
Holy crap. We had 80 mile per hour winds here last week. We all woke up at the same time. I believe it was Wednesday morning at like 4:20 in the morning. And my husband tried to wake me up and I didn't hear him, which is weird because I'm a very light sleeper. As soon as my daughter came through the door, I woke up and I was like, what the fuck? Because I think what Vern was saying to me registered, and the dream I was having, it was really creepy how it ended. And then Nova came in, it was just like chaotic. And then I hear this wind blowing super hard. There's lightning, thunder, and it sounds like it's raining, but it's actually just snowing really, really hard, I guess. Frozen water, snow, hail, sleet, I guess is the word for it. 80 miles per hour, a truck blew over, like all kinds of different stuff happened. I'm waiting for one of these huge spruces to fall, but had I been living in Arkansas or Tennessee at that moment, I would not have gone back to sleep, but I'm like, oh, we're in Colorado, we'll be okay. So I went back to sleep, but one of these trees could have fallen over, and I thought about that the next day.
For y'all to have like that high winds, like that's insane though, you know?
Yeah,
like that's like a Cat 1, you know, hurricane for us, like that's insane.
Yeah, it got up to 100 miles per hour in other areas around us, but I think where we're at, we're kind of blocked. So it got to 80 miles per hour, but other places got 100 and plus miles per hour. And I'm like, what the fuck? And then the maps, it's just showing it everywhere. I don't know what has happened. I posted and I said, Mother Nature has lost her shit right now, boys and girls. You better go clean your room, hide under your bed. Like, I don't know what you did. But
Clean
she's
your
mad. Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy because a Cat 1 hurricane starts at 74.
Yep.
So y'all had probably close to a Category 2 of, force winds.
Yeah, my 17-year-old, she woke up and she thought she was dreaming, and she came running down the hallway, and she said as soon as she hit my door and came through, she realized she wasn't dreaming, and then kind of tried to reassess things, but it was super loud. The 2 littles, the 6-year-old and the 9-year-old, they didn't hear nothing. They slept through the whole thing.
That's kind of how.
I was trying to get my daughter to say hello. She doesn't want to talk. She said hi. I have a house full of kids right now, so I'm locking them inside and I'm staying outside.
Aw. So is that Tommy talking? What were you saying, Tommy?
No, I'm just saying. I said that's kind of how I was during Hurricane Ida. I stayed up till about 11:30, close to midnight. I swear this is about as bad as it's gonna get. And the wind started blowing, and then it kind of died down, picked up again. I was like, well, shoot, I'm going to bed. I got tired. I woke up the next morning. I said, Lord, have mercy, what done happened?
I had to get up and drive to work in that mess. Like, I was literally, like, cleaning limbs out of the road trying to get to my work.
Oh, my goodness. I would have turned around and said, sorry, the roads are blocked.
You know, well, my store was literally, like, the only, like, retail store in town that had power. So,
oh, wow. It was meant to be, I guess.
Of course, and my boss was like, well, if you have power, you got to go in. And it literally, like, what normally would take me probably, like, 20, 25 minutes, it took me probably an hour and a half to get there.
Mm-hmm.
I bet they wiped that store out that day, huh?
Oh, they did. It was like I was number one in sales in my district.
Hell yeah. You're like, I win. Where's my bonus, bitches?
Well, the problem was is I was by myself most of the day because, of course, I'm calling everybody. I'm like, hey, can you come in today? Can you come in today? I finally got one girl to come in, like, later in the day. But, like, finally I was like, I'm not staying up here all day, which I did work almost a double that day. But I was like, this is ridiculous. And we were insanely busy. And, of course, they destroyed my store. And then by the time most of them were coming in wanting, you know, they wiped us out of charcoal and stuff like that and batteries and flashlights. And then
Toilet
I
paper.
could have had way more sales if I would have been, you know, more prepared with extra flashlights and water. Because they took all the water we had.
Shut the store for 30 minutes. Oh, never mind. The other stores were closed. I was going to say, you could have stocked up on flashlights, toilet paper, made your own revenue on the side.
Well, luckily, like, I had a truck in the back with some water, and I had some people, like, that were coming in trying to buy stuff to take down to Louisiana, the harder hit areas. And I was like, look, like, I haven't even pulled this out yet, but if y'all are taking this to people who need it, I was like, here, let me go pull this out of the back and give to y'all, like, here. And I'd actually bought a couple extra cases of water to have at my house in case we lost power and whatnot, you know, and I didn't wind up using it. So I was like, look, like, this one family came in there and they were, like, stocking up on stuff, and they were like, we're headed down here to take goods or whatever. I'm like, look, come out to my car. I have 2 cases of water in my car that I'm not using, you know, take it, help somebody that needs it, you know, give it to somebody that needs it, because I don't, you know.
That's awesome. You guys got an awesome team member. How'd you score her, you guys? How'd you find her?
Just kind of happened, I guess.
Yeah.
They're probably second guessing having me now. They're like, she gives us hell. Y'all take her back.
Lord have mercy. What did we do?
See?
What do we do to deserve it?
Probably happened with Terror on the Coast, huh? Which I think you mentioned in the last podcast.
Yeah. It was Terror on the Coast.
Yeah, that's where we met, and their team kind of had some issues and whatever, and me and Josh was already talking about, you know, reaching out to Lindie, and later on she reached out to us. I'm like, yeah, you know, and she was thinking about forming her own team. I was like, well, why don't you just come on with us? And here we are.
And now they're like, what the hell did I get myself into?
Be careful what you wish for.
Exactly.
So, Tommy, you were saying you're a horror movie fan. Okay, people think it's weird when I tell them I grew up on horror movies. Like, that was
Me
family
too.
time for me, was watching scary movies with my mom. Like, that's some of my first memories. And they're like, what? And I'm like, yeah, I still, like, especially since my tinnitus, I'll listen to things or watch things to get to sleep. And it's always paranormal based. I have the coolest dreams.
Bet you do.
Is that how it started with you? Is like a family occurrence, or how'd you get into the horror genre?
It's been so long ago. I mean, I grew up on like Freddy Krueger, Jason, Hellraiser, Phantasm, you know, those kind of movies. And, you know, my grandma, she used to always tell me stories. My grandma and my aunt used to always tell me these weird stories that would happen to her. And a lot of times it was during a horror movie. I'm like, why? I was just a little kid. I'm like, man, why are you telling me this now? Now I got to go to, you know, now I got to go to bed by myself. You know, I'd be scared to death. And I'm like, you know, like Unsolved Mysteries. I used to love that.
Oh, yes, that was a good one.
Yeah, that guy's cool. His son is doing it now, too, right? Oh, America's Most Wanted. That's not, yeah, never mind.
Well, like you know, like Unsolved Mystery. You know, like I would be scared to death. I'm not even gonna lie.
That intro was super creepy, and that guy's like facial features and serious look in his voice.
No emotion.
Yeah. He's so
Like
serious.
if it had something to do with ghosts and spirits, like I was tuned in. I was scared to death the whole time. Like The Exorcist 2, that's one of my all-time favorites. And
Did y'all ever watch People Under the Stairs? Like, that movie used to creep me
Yeah.
out. Have y'all seen that one?
Yeah.
I hate that movie. I lot of people's never even heard of it.
I know a lot of people like I say that movie and they're like, "What are you talking about?" I'm like, "Oh my god, if you have not watched that movie, you need to watch that movie."
I got so good as a kid, like I could skip 3 stairs going up the stairs. I would run and jump and bound up the stairs so something wouldn't grab my freaking feet and shit. I ended up getting so good at that I won first place in the high jump later on in life. But yeah, even jumping into bed, I'd run and jump into bed from about 6 feet away because fuck that. I'm not playing these games with these people under my bed,
like,
and those motherfucking people under my stairs.
My feet gotta be covered. Like, they gotta be, like, tucked in, like, at night.
Still today.
Grabbing me out of bed.
And then, like, the main guy of the movie, I forgot what his name was, but the one that had it.
You talking about Roach? Roach?
Yeah.
That was Roach.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, he turned out to be a good guy, trying to protect Alice.
Yeah.
Or Allison, whatever her name was. But yeah, I still watch that movie. Like, like I said, that Pet Cemetery.
Yes,
Oh,
that was one of my
Cemetery.
favorites.
Yeah, Motel Hell.
Night of the
The
Living
Rain.
Dead.
Psycho and, like, Stephen King's The
Oh,
Stand
yes.
was a good one, too.
I
Oh,
just
you can't
watched the
get
newer
no-
one. That was cool too. I like the new one. They did a really good job with it.
I was always hooked on, like, the original,
The
like,
Stand?
Amityville. Oh, The Stand was, like, it was so good.
Yeah, the one I saw,
yeah.
I don't think it's the original. It had the guy from, oh my gosh, I just had a brain fart. That vampire movie that was on HBO for a while. Something Blood.
True Blood or something?
Yeah, True Blood. When you came in. Yeah, they had that guy playing basically the devil or whoever the cracky was. I can't remember his name. And then different characters throughout it. Johnny Depp's old lady, Amber Turd. Yeah. She was the chick in there. I was like, is that Amber Turd? No way. It is Amber Turd. Amber Heard. But
Amber Turd?
Are you calling her Amber Turd?
yeah.
Yeah. She needs a poo noodle.
She needs a poo noodle and a water.
I said make sure I hear it.
Yeah.
Are you talking about Amber Heard or Amber Turd?
Amber Heard.
Amber
Whose
Heard,
real name is Amber Turd.
a.k.a. Amber Turd.
That's it.
Amber Turd.
I'm glad I'm not the only one that heard that.
Hmm.
We'll get her a poo noodle, too.
So she played the really cool chick that ended up, being the devil's wife.
Yeah.
Oh, man. It was so good. That wasn't the original, was it? Because I swear to God, there was an original one, and that was like a remake.
There was.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm like, am I tripping? Is this like the Mandela effect or what?
I had seen the new one, but the original, it's good.
Yeah, it is.
So
Super
how
good.
do y'all feel about, like, Pet Cemetery, though? Like, how do y'all feel about that movie?
The remake
The
I
new
don't
one,
like
or-
as much as the original. You just
No,
can't beat
the original was way better.
Mhm.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, you're not gonna beat the original.
Yeah.
I mean, it was good, but it's not what I grew up with.
I mean, the images they had in the original, you can't beat that.
Mm-mm. And Judd, Judd is Judd. That was Judd.
Yeah, or Fred Gwynn. Yeah, you ain't gonna get no better than that.
Uh-uh.
He goes from that to my cousin Vinny. Like
Right?
a whole different person. That's another one of my
Oh,
top
God. I'm not even going to talk about my cousin Vinny. Are you saying that? Or something?
Why
I
not?
bought that movie for 25 cents from a little girl at a campground.
Heck
one
yeah.
time.
Score.
Yeah, she came up with a box. She was selling DVDs for 25 cents a piece. I've seen that. I said, oh, yeah, I got to get that.
Oh,
Load
yeah.
me up.
What
I'll
else
tell
you
you
got
what,
in there, little girl? It's awesome when you find those good deals. It's
Oh,
like
yeah.
winning the lottery for me.
Well, I say 25 cents. I give her $1 for it, so I feel
That's
bad.
cool. Aw.
Like
Guys are
lemonade
so
stand, but
nice.
the movie stand.
Yeah.
But she couldn't pay me enough. I'm like, it's no big deal. If I'd have bought it somewhere else, it would have been like $19, you know?
Yeah.
$1 for one of my favorite movies. You can't beat that.
So what was your major favorite, like, number one favorite horror flick?
Ooh.
It's hard, right? It's just like, what's your favorite song? I can't pick. Like, I have to
Yeah,
have a top
that's a
5
hard
or
one.
something.
My top 2 would probably have to be, The Conjuring. It's up there.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't like too many movies, but that's a good one. Exorcist and Pet Cemetery probably be my top 3.
Exorcist, Pet Cemetery, and The Conjuring?
One. And The Conjuring's, they're all, good, of course, but, like, I don't know, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre always, like, freaks me out. Like,
Yeah,
bad.
that's
That one always, I'm like, nope. That's probably one reason why I don't do haunted houses, because that joker comes at me with a damn chainsaw and I'm gone. I'm like, I'm done. I'm done.
Yeah, that's another good one. The original.
Yeah.
It's like the way they did it too. It's like there's no music, no special effects. It's like very realistic.
Yeah, like you're there.
There's hardly any blood in it, really.
Love ya.
I love you too.
I'm sorry. My child boyfriend's leaving, going home.
Oh, at least you don't want to kill him. Or are you, like, baiting the trap? I'm just kidding.
He's a good kid. I couldn't pick a better one. Like, he's a good kid.
Okay, so...
He's got a job, plays baseball,
Yeah. That's good. Sounds good. Okay, so, Josh, what about you?
Favorite horror movies?
Yes. Which ones, like, really mess with you as a kid, or if you didn't get to watch them as kids, as an adult, or whatnot? Which are your, I guess, top 3 we're doing? Was favorite, but top 3 is easier.
If I had to pick an all-time favorite, it would have to be the series of Freddy. I'd have to go with that. But Pet Cemetery very much disturbed me. The Exorcist is also... And one that I seen later on was House of 1,000 Corpses. That one messed with me, too.
And the Hills Have Eyes, that was trippy. Like,
Yeah.
ew, that really exists. It really exists.
Unfortunately, yeah.
Ding, 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 ding. It's just a different version, Smoky Mountains. Don't go there alone. Group of 5. No less. And stay together.
Have a buddy system.
Yeah. Buddy system. If you have to go pee, do it like the girls. Hey, you want to go to the bathroom with me? In case something tries to kill me on the way, that'd be great. The guys are like, what's up with that? For me, it was The Shining, Exorcist.
That was a good one.
Pet Cemetery. That is my number 1 favorite, is Pet Cemetery.
Yeah.
Freddy Krueger, and then, like, as a kid, I moved to North Elm, and then eventually I lived on South Elm, too. At first, it really freaked me out, but I got over it. Oh, what was that?
Well,
Go
my
ahead.
parents kind of made me hate Chucky, like, as a kid, because we were really big into Halloween, like, at my house. And so, every Halloween, like, my parents, like, my mom's house, I'll say my parents, my mom's house, like, it almost looks like a duplex if you look at it. Like, there's a carport in the center of the house, and there's 2 porches on the side.
Mm-hmm.
And every Halloween, like, they would dress up like mannequins and whatnot, like for the whole month. But then the night of Halloween, like all these different characters on their porch would come to life because they would have all their friends come over there and like dress up in these actual masks. And like when Chucky came out was really, really big, like they had a projector screen out there playing Chucky. But then they also had someone in a freaking Chucky costume. And I can remember like them like chasing people down the road in this freaking Chucky costume. And I was just like, okay, I mean, Chucky's really not that scary. Like the movies don't really freak me out, but like this is ridiculous, you know?
Yes, it's fun to scare people. Like I never did it. I used to watch my dad do it. He dressed up as the devil one time, and my dad was 6 foot whatever and had like 3 feet, I swear to God, shoulder width. He was a really big guy. He said he was Black Irish. He's Welsh too. I hate to tell him. But yeah, he dressed up as the devil and he put red lights in instead of regular lights, and he answered the door and said, "Welcome to hell." And the kids would generally run away because his voice was really deep. But yeah, Halloween was fun. Trick-or-treating. I never get trick-or-treaters. I live down this creepy-looking driveway, and we're on a battlefield, so maybe there's a lot of different variations going on. I can only remember 2 trick-or-treaters I've ever gotten within the last 17 years. But I'm generally gone, too, so who knows. But we've never been egged or toilet papered or anything, so I don't think anybody comes down here. They're just like, fuck that. I'm not going down there. They're probably cannibals. But the other...
Well, people ask me all the time, they're like, you love Halloween, like, you love dressing up and doing this, but, like, you don't like going to haunted houses, and I'm like, no, because I don't like people, like, dress up and shit, like, jumping out at me, like, they're going to get punched.
Yeah.
So they're like, you do paranormal, and I'm like, yes, I do, but, like,
I will still kick your ass.
Jumping out, like, no, I will punch you in the throat.
The things that really
I'm not
scare me
okay
are
with
not
that.
ghosts and goblins and all this other shit I've dealt with. It's
No.
real human beings. Those scare me the fucking
it's
most.
human beings that
Yeah.
terrify me. Exactly.
People are scary. I don't know what to do about it.
They're way more terrifying than spirits.
But the other
Any
two
day of the week.
was Night of the Living Dead, and there was one more. Oh my gosh. It was a space movie. So I grew up watching Star Trek and all this crap, staying up all night as a kid. Something... I almost had it. It was almost there. They're on a ship, and then this entity comes in and starts messing with their head, and in the end it's like basically grinding them up and stealing their soul. Man, I can't think of the name for it. But that's a good one too. That's it for me. That's my list.
That's like a hard question, man. Like, how can you have like a favorite?
I know, because there's like different ones for different times, you know?
There's just so many. Like, you should have one for like each like genre. Like, oh, for this time period and this time period. Like, you got to break it down. Oh my God, y'all, my dog.
I don't know.
Oh, hell,
I still have problems watching the original Pet Cemetery. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, I don't think there's any beating that one.
And I think it's so scary because, like, we didn't know it as kids, but there's really a ring of truth to a lot of stuff going on there. And
yeah,
I don't know, like going past the pet cemetery up into the mountains to this ancient burial ground so you can resurrect your loved one. What's coming through? Some sort of yucky demon. It's not like the original people, but something from the other side. Ew. The part that, like, okay, so I have 2 least favorite parts when it comes to Pet Cemetery. When Gage got hit, because I love that little bastard to death.
Oh my God, I know.
He was
I always
so
wanted to
fucking
name my kid
cute.
Gage because of
Like,
that. I know, he's
yeah.
so cute.
And then when the wife came back and they're making out and that pus is rolling out of her eyeball into his mouth and shit, I'm like, all right, fuck this. I'm not watching this anymore.
When the ankles...
I'm like, he
when the
really
ankles
loved
got
her
cut.
a lot. Oh, the
What
Achilles
about-
tendon. Yuck.
Yes. That just made
Okay,
me cringe.
that's top
I was
3.
like, okay, yeah, throw that one in there.
What about the Zelda scene, Josh?
Oh, Rachel.
I hate that shit.
Rachel.
That was probably the worst for me.
Ooh, so cringy.
You know that's actually played by a man.
Really?
Really, I didn't know that either.
The spine
Yep.
and stuff? Oh my gosh.
Yeah, Josh hates it.
Yeah, I hate that thing.
Yeah, that's-
Remember that time I sent you a text of that video?
Yeah.
I'm getting
Yeah.
bad chills right now. I think I forgot that scene for a reason. Thanks a lot, Josh.
No, right? I forgot that too. So we brought it up, and I was like,
Rachel!
As a kid, I never
You gotta do it right. Rachel!
Yeah, I was watching that movie one night, and I seen that, it got to that scene. I said, oh, shoot, I got to rewind it. I rewound it and recorded it, and then I sent it to Josh. He's like, man, that's messed up.
Yeah, she started off with a long, drawn-out Rachel, but remember that point where she's like, Rachel! I don't know, that's the one that sticks with me. Because it was like, I don't know, really, again, cringy.
I don't know.
What got me is you could see her bones and all that.
That's what I was saying.
Oh,
Her
yeah.
spine sticking out is what was...
Oh, yeah.
It reminded me of Auschwitz or whatnot. I was just like, what the
Oh,
fuck?
God. Why did you even put that into my head, man?
Because that's what it looked
Yes.
like.
It does. Now that you say that, but I've never thought of it like that, man. Ugh.
Ew.
Yeah.
I hope I'll sleep good tonight.
I'm
I'm
sorry.
just
We
thinking
can
about
have a happy bedtime story.
I'll
when we
go
end
watch
the
some
show.
serial killer documentary.
I know, right?
Go sleep.
Women are so creepy. They like to watch like murder mysteries and serial killers and all this other shit to go to sleep. It gives them peace. I don't know what it is. What were you saying?
Oh my God, y'all! I know I talked to Tommy and them about this the other day, but like, there's this guy that comes in my store who looks just like freaking Jeffrey Dahmer.
I just
I like-
watched him last night. These different
No, like
investigations
my
on him.
assistant didn't know. She was like, "Who are you talking about? Like, what are you talking about?" And I was like, I googled a picture of him, and she was like, "Oh my God!" I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "You see why I'm freaked out every time he comes in here? Like, I'm telling you, like, I mean, I know he's doing wrong, he's got a
Reincarnation.
role, whatever." But like, I'm telling you, like, if he came back as like an older version of himself, like this guy would look just like him, and he's odd and weird and give you
Awkward.
weird vibes when he comes in. Yes, like I'm telling you, like spitting freaking image, like.
Listen to your
it's
gut,
weird.
sister. Listen to your gut.
Like, it is so strange. So strange. And she thought I was crazy. And I was like, I was like, do you even know who I'm talking about? And she was like, no. And I Googled it, and she, like literally, like, it was, like, a variety of pictures. And she, like, literally put her finger on one and was like, oh, my gosh. And I was like, yeah.
Still want to see a picture of him.
Oh, I'm telling you, you're going to be like, holy hell, that is freaking him. Like, you need to, like,
Oh my
get
goodness.
him out of your store. Like, I'm telling you, it's so eerie. So eerie.
Do y'all believe in reincarnation?
I
Yes.
do. My youngest daughter told me about it. What about you?
I do. I think it's very possible. I do.
And then you're Tommy, right, Josh?
That's
What about you?
talking.
Oh,
That's
Josh.
Josh.
Yeah. What about you, Tommy? Do you believe in reincarnation? Before he goes on with this point.
Yeah, in a way. I'm not really sure how I feel about it, honestly. As far as coming back as an animal or something, like to say, I don't really know. But yeah, I think people have lived past lives. Maybe that's where deja vu comes in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why? Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, because they say that if you had deja vu, that's where your younger self or whatever live or has experience in their past life.
Right.
If that makes sense.
Yes.
So
It does.
I'm not really sure, but yeah. I believe in it.
Possible.
Yeah.
So on that note, you guys, we do have to go to our second music break. So on this break we have Music for Savages by Miss Mia Savage, Bury Me in Heaven, which is one of my favorite, The Bottom Line, as well as, actually, I think we don't have Bury Me in Heaven. I think that was on the first list. Let me look really quick, just to make sure. Yep, that was the first list. So we have The Bottom Line, Lemurian Crypto, as well as Let Me Be Your Home. You guys don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this music break. Welcome back, and thank you so much for joining us this evening on We Are Paradox Media's Late Night in the Rockies. Tonight we are joined by Lindie, Josh, and Mr. Tommy. Welcome back, you guys.
That's AKA Twinkie Fingers.
Twank, twank.
Josh, don't worry. Your name is coming. Just give me time.
It's Joku. Joku.
Yeah.
Ooh, I just thought of another one, but it escaped me again. I will let you know later. I have a good one. Go ahead. Reincarnation. I keep hearing someone trying to talk. Hello?
Hello?
I can't tell the difference between Josh and Tommy. I'm still trying to figure it out. But I think I've got
Yeah,
it.
we do something.
Okay, that was
Me and
Josh
Josh-
right now, and that's Tommy, right?
Yep,
Yeah.
you
Okay,
got it,
it.
girl.
I got it. Okay, good. Thank God.
Me
And look,
Josh
you did
did
so good with pronouncing Tangipahoa tonight, too. I was so proud of you. Like, she rocked it. I hope Eileen Jones is listening so she can figure out how to say it instead of calling the Hoas.
Right?
Yeah, I heard that last time.
Hoas? A bunch of hoas?
She's like, I'm just going to call them the Hoas because I can't pronounce it.
Aww. Oh, I had it spelled wrong last time, so I thought it was Tangipahoa. And then you're like, no, it's say it slower. You're just saying it too fast. And then I looked back, I had to, as we're talking, like correct the spelling. Had it correct at first, but then for some reason the A disappeared. And it was just PH. So it was to me.
But you rocked it tonight. I was like, listen at her. She slowed it down and did it.
I learned my lesson.
That's what Eileen Jones used to call us.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, she could pronounce, like she would say, tangy butthole.
Tangy
She
butthole.
was like, the Hoas.
Tangy
With the Hoas
butthoas.
tonight.
I'm like, where did you get that from?
So, when we left off, we were talking about past lives, and I don't know, for me, I do believe in it. At first, I was like, I'm not sure, but I believe anything's possible. And then my mentor was telling me about her daughter would come to her and tell her about their past lives together and such. And then my very last child, which I never planned on having, only one of my kids was planned. I have 4. Life is full of surprises. But I caught her at 1.5 years old. My oldest daughter had gone to a job fair. So I think she was in high school at the time. And she had a lanyard that she brought home. And Lily had found the lanyard, tied it around her leg. And I walked past because I'm cleaning house or doing something. And I'm like, Sissy, don't do that. You're going to cut off the circulation. And you're going to get this little prickly, like pins and needles feeling. And it's going to be really uncomfortable. It'll pass, but don't do that because it's going to lead to that. And she's like, but Mama, I got to tie it off or I'm going to bleed out. And I was like, what kind of speech does any 1-year-old like say like that? Like, it made no sense to me. And then a little while later, she told me she was a man. She was tall. She had wavy blonde hair. And she was in the military. I think she was a nurse in the military. And I think she got shot in the thigh and tried to tie it off. And she actually bled out in her past life. And she remembered it at 1.5 years old. But she doesn't today, and she's 6. So I think it passes unless you hang on to it. But some things can last a lifetime as far as injuries.
But I think like that kind of happens with age too. Like I think the world itself these days like closes you off to like your memories and your gifts. Like you become so sensitized to like what society today thinks like you should be or whatever, to where you close a lot of that off. And I wish more kids would stay more humble and vulnerable to their insight into that, you know, because more people would, oh gosh, what this world would be like if more people like stayed open to those type things, you know, the things that we would learn and have more insight on would be amazing.
Yeah, and I also wonder, like, is it because I did listen And when she told me these things and asked me about them, I'm like, I don't know.
She got it out and it was known.
I said, I don't know,
Yeah.
sissy, but I believe you. Had I said, no, that's not true, just go back and play or something like that, like they'd say to us as kids,
Yeah.
she might still be hanging on to that stuff, but she doesn't remember anymore. So maybe that's for the better.
It's like she just had to let it out, let it go. And it's like, okay, somebody knows this is true and real. And
So I believe it, because a 1.5-year-old saying that stuff, I believe it's true. Who's next? Tommy? Josh?
Well, I mean, the reason I believe, because you hear stories all the time about, like you was talking about one of your kids, I've read articles where kids have come up with this stuff, and there's no way that they would be able to know stuff like this, It's just, you can't explain it.
Tommy?
Yeah. I kind of feel the same way. I've got a picture. I've never put it on Facebook or anything. It's kind of personal, but
you can share it with us in the group. It won't go nowhere.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking about. It's really freaking cool. That's really cool.
Well, y'all seen it. Like my ex, she was pregnant with twins. She is a twin.
Oh wow!
And yeah, she's got a twin brother. So my youngest one, which is 12 years old, like years ago, me and my mom worked at this, at the same place at a meat deer processing place. So I picked her up one morning to go to work, and so she had I didn't know at the time that it was zoomed in, the picture. She says, "Who is that?" And like she was stupid. I'm like, "That's Riley, my daughter." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" And she said, "Okay, this is zoomed out," and it was Riley in front of the camera holding a little can of Vienna sausage. Now,
oh yeah,
in the background. So in the background was a boy version, which we believed her twin was a boy, which I got the tattoo on my arm. His name was Eric.
Oh.
So you can see him plain as day on the couch. Like the only.
You need to send Tessa that photo.
I would love to see it, and I swear to God, I won't share it with anybody.
Yeah, I mean.
But you don't have to. I'm not going to pressure you.
I mean, I will. And like he was looking dead at the camera, sitting in the background on the couch.
Just happy-go-lucky, living his best life. Like it's a really cool photo.
Yeah.
It's amazing how that happens. And I actually watched a video not too long ago. I believe it was on Paranormal Caught on Camera. I'm going to put some footage on there. Hopefully I become a star for 15 seconds. But there was this video where this guy, I think it was in England, and they were pregnant with twins. Sometimes early in stages, like one just like dies and is consumed by the other, and sometimes it's right before birth. For some reason, the other one will die, whether it's stress of birth or whatever is going on. And so one of them didn't live, and so they kept capturing or noticing activity on these different toys. They start going off, different things are happening. And then he tried to interact with it and say, "If you're really there, Angel," they called her Angel because she is. And, "can you press this key or that key?" And the funny thing is, this particular side of the board did not work regularly, but when she would go and play with it, it would. So that was pretty cool. And they're like, finally he captured it on video. Like, he's witnessed it many times, and his wife's not believing him because I'm pretty sure she's in bed, sad and depressed. And eventually he got this video of it, and he's like, "I swear to God, I just got it." And so it was just like, I don't know, hopefully an awakening point for her where she could know she didn't lose that baby, like it's still there with her. And I think it always will be until that other sibling is gone, because they are so interlinked and so close. I think they share a soul, like a twin soul. Which there's different meanings for that. But it's pretty intriguing how that happens and how they stick around. And I think it has a lot to do with being a twin, because you do share a part of that soul. So I think until that other soul is extinguished, that one will remain. Just like if you do
almost like a twin flame.
Yeah, if you do get born and something happens to your twin, whether you're being murdered or you get into a car accident or something else, like a heart attack or something happens, they will witness it for themselves, like physically. It's pretty intriguing.
I love that show, though. Like, they have some cool stuff on there.
Yeah, it's pretty diverse. I like it. Was that Tommy
Yeah,
or Josh?
there was some fairy footage on there that was like, holy
yes.
hell. And then like down in the apple orchard or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see that one where the
I want to
fairy
go
like
into
flew
it,
down?
but I heard Josh
Oh,
or Tommy trying to say something real quick. So let them say something, and then we'll go into the fairy thing because I got some stuff on that too.
No, I was just going to say, I'll probably want to send that picture to the group. I'm not sure if it went through, but
I think I see it. Hold on. Oh my goodness. He's so cute.
Right.
Oh my goodness. They look like they're identical, but the hair color difference. His is a little darker. Oh.
the one on the couch.
Yes, look at him. Oh, that is awesome. Oh my goodness.
My other daughter was behind the camera, digging in the pantry for a can of Vienna sausage.
She said, "Look, I got it."
On the couch, I don't know. It's weird too because it's in color and looking straight at the camera.
Yep. He's looking at what you guys are doing. He's like, I know she's going to bring some back. She's going to share with me. Like, even though he doesn't eat it, I think he gets the essence of it.
Yeah, like, oh, yeah.
Hera?
Okay.
Sound like somebody said, "Hey, yo." Like, what?
It might have been my dog. My dog is cutting up. Call me your dog now. She's like whining, trying to get to my cat. So,
well, if your dog can say "Hey yo," you better record that on TikTok or some shit. That'll go viral. Hey yo.
Right. She's like a little human, so she may could.
Okay, so you're talking about losing your son, which is very devastating. Have you had any other things to you that might seem like past life or whatnot? Like, this is not a past life. This is a life that should have been, that is still there. I can't believe, like, he's not even translucent.
Right. And it was a miscarriage. He was like 4 pounds. Which I knew something was wrong because my daughter, she was 8 ounces, I think, and he was 4. So I knew then something wasn't right. But even after my daughter was born, she would stay at my mom's house here and there, and she would be running around my mom's bedroom, talking to herself. And my mom was like, "Who are you talking to?" She said, "I'm talking to this little boy."
Aww.
And then all of a sudden, like, she would say, "Well, where did he go?" It's kind of like they were playing hide and seek. And
that goes back to them being like so intertwined, though. Because I'm sure, like, I mean, they're in the womb together, even though, like, he passed, like, she's still gonna know, like, hey, he's here with me,
Yeah.
All along. Has she had any experiences like the older that she got, though? Or no, just
yeah, is he still
younger?
there?
No, just when she was younger. So I haven't heard her say anything about that, like, in years.
How old is she now?
Right now she's 12.
Okay. Have you had a talk with her? Like, if you ever see or experience anything, it's okay. It's normal. Like, we're all going to be a ghost someday. That's what I tell my kids, because they get really freaked out because they're seeing things like I did and like my mom did and, whoever else before. I'm like, we're all going to be ghosts someday. How would you feel if somebody was afraid of you? Which I don't think she's afraid of him, but maybe at a certain point, you start to feel like maybe you're going crazy or this isn't really happening or whatever. I don't know. She needs to know it's
Right,
okay,
yeah,
and it doesn't make her weird because this is happening,
Yeah, and back then, like she was, she wasn't scared or anything. She was running around playing with him and this and that, and all of a sudden he would disappear. She's like, "Where'd that little boy go?" My mom's like, "What little boy?" She said, "I don't know. He was standing right there." And which is in the same house that picture was taken.
Yeah, I didn't feel like when
but
she
yeah.
was younger, she was afraid of it because she'd play with it. Whatever, she's perfectly happy with it. But the older you get, the more conscious of yourself you are. And so it might kind of make her feel crazy. Do you guys ever talk to her about it? Or is it a normal conversation? Or is it something nobody wants to talk about?
Well, yeah, it's kind of that, like we bring it up now. She's kind of like, I don't really want to talk about it. I guess it makes her sad or whatever. So we just kind of, keep it on the down low, I guess.
Well,
from her.
I just feel like she needs to know. I don't know why I'm picking up on this, but she needs to know it's okay. You're not crazy. This is really
I'm
happening.
with you on that one, Tessa.
And embrace
I'm
it,
with you on
because
that one.
I think she's having experiences. It's making her uncomfortable because she doesn't know anymore how to feel about it, because she doesn't remember a lot of things from back in the day. So
Right.
This isn't happening to everybody else. It's happening to her. So it's making her feel weird. And
that goes back to like what I was saying about like you getting uncomfortable with it, and you literally close that gift off. Like she will literally shut him out when she doesn't have to, just because she's uncomfortable with it, or she may think she's crazy for seeing this person that isn't really there or is there. You know what I'm saying? Like she'll close herself off to that.
she needs to know it's okay, it's acceptable, and he may be here throughout your life, for the good or the bad. Whenever you need him, he will always be there for you, because you guys were brought into this realm together. So I don't know, I feel like he feels like he can't leave because he wants to take care of her, and he wants to be there with her and have that experience with her, because something happened that shouldn't have happened that made him not come through, because he got to a good weight. Yeah, it sounded like she was smaller and he was bigger, right? Or she was bigger. All I heard was the ounces.
Well, at the time that he passed, I guess she was bigger. So.
Yeah, something happened. Nothing anybody could control, just something with genetics or how the body works, but something happened where he couldn't come through when he was supposed to, so he's going to be with her forever. She needs to know it's a blessing, not a curse. It's okay, and not to close those windows, because that'll close off a lot of things for her and make things actually more difficult, I think. But she needs to know it's okay. And so if she doesn't want to talk about it, like that's how my daughter is sometimes. You never talk to me, but when you try to, she doesn't want to hear it. But you need to put it to the short and sweet version of it. He's going to be here. It's okay. It's normal. There's nothing wrong with you.
Right. Yeah, and I think it just kind of makes her sad, I guess, when I do talk about it, which it's not often, because I know it does make her sad, so I just kind of, stay away from that subject,
Yeah, are you guys open, right? You're intuitive, you have other gifts?
What you mean?
Are you intuitive? Are you open? You're able to get, like, you can feel if something's happening or something's around, or you know, you get gut instincts or different things like that going on?
Yeah.
Maybe it's stronger with her than with you, but I don't know. I feel like Lindie was saying, if she closes it off, it's going to close off other things that could help her or empower her.
So, like, I'm kind of quiet about a lot of things, which I probably shouldn't be, but
it's how we were raised.
Speaking of which, Tommy, you need to tell Tessa about your experience from the hospital.
Yeah.
You need to talk about that. I mean, I know that's completely off topic. But
oh no, I'm good.
Yes, like he.
Because I was just thinking we need to get off this.
But yeah, like he is to a sense. I don't think he realizes it as much as he like is. But yes, like, and he has stuff happen. Like, he just doesn't talk about it. As, you know.
So what happened at the hospital?
That place
wasn't. It's after the hospital.
After. Oh, you took something home.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Like, like we would be sitting here, like, just on the couch or whatever, me and my wife, and we'd be just watching a movie. I wouldn't even be thinking about the hospital. And like, I would have these weird thoughts. I haven't told many people about this, but here it goes. I would have these weird thoughts and weird, like, just urges just to get up and go get in all these weird kind of positions on, kind of almost like a contortionist. Like, I wanted to do that. Like, something was pushing me to do that. And, there was times I would just sit there and, like, I would just get mad for no reason, which I didn't take it out on anybody. I didn't say anything. But I had these weird thoughts about just wanting to get up and trash the place.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not me.
And Chanel even said, like, when he was sleeping, like, he wouldn't sleep in normal positions. Like, he was turned, like, upside down in the bed and didn't even remember getting like that. Like,
I laugh, but it's just because I can relate. I'm sorry.
Well, I forgot about that. Yeah, because I forgot about that. But yeah,
there's a reason he forgot about that, Lindie. Thanks a lot. I'm just kidding.
Well, leave it to me.
Yeah, so so I work at night, so I sleep during the day. And she said she came there, to go to the bathroom or whatever, and I was completely flipped around. My head was at the foot of the bed, and my feet were at the head of the bed.
Oh my gosh!
No, no covers on me or nothing like that.
Uh-huh.
And so she, she went to the bathroom, did what she had to do, and came out. And a little while later, she came in. I was back in my normal position. And she asked me if I remember doing that. I'm like, nope. What are you talking about? Like, I've never, as far as I can remember, I've never done anything like that.
And Tommy was real quiet that week, too, in, like, the group chat. Because, like, I was messaging them, and I'm like, look, I got locked out of this. Like, this happened. Like, blah, 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 blah. And, like, he was real quiet. And, like, even his wife was like, okay, he's not going back to the hospital. Like, he's not being normal. Like, I don't know what the hell's going on with him, but something's not right. Like, something's not right.
Ain't no doctor gonna help this fella. We did all the tests we could, and everything's coming back inconclusive. We don't know what's wrong with him.
Yeah, like, even at work, people are like, man, you all right? You look tired. I was like, yeah, I'm fine. I just hadn't been sleeping good, whatever. But deep down, I'm like, I messed up.
Well, we were talking to Tessa, like, about that night, like, and of course, like, I've been in there more than y'all have, and, like, I was talking about how different, like, the energy was that night.
And
like,
they feed off of different energies. I think his energy...
Here in the daytime as the nighttime, but it was insane.
His energy just sparked it off like it never did before. They're like, oh, look at this. Look at what we got here on the buffet.
Well, like, I mean, he can tell you, like, I mean, we're all three, like, experienced investigators, and, like, there was points in times we would come out for a break, and we were just, like, looking at each other, like, do we really want to go back in there, or can we call it a night? Like, it was that, like, intense. We were just all like, I'm not sure I want to go back in there.
Like, at one point, I was ready to go, and then y'all were like, oh, let's do one more round. I'm like, oh, my God. And, that, that's not me, because... I'm always up for it, but that night, it screwed me up big time.
And, like, I was telling Chanel the other night, too, like, she was laughing at me, because, like, normally, like, I don't mind being stuck, like, by myself or, like, with my back to a doorway or whatever, but, like, that whole entire night, like, I did not want to be in that hospital without my back to a wall or something. And I remember, like, that last session we went in and did in the psych ward, I was like, okay, I was sitting in between two, like, rooms, and I'm, like, with my back up against the wall, and I was like, okay, guys, one of you on this side, one of you on this side. Like, I am not comfortable being just, like, I don't know, I just felt, like, exposed. Like, it just didn't feel good, and I was like, I want one of you on one side and one of you on the other side of me, like, or I don't want to be in here right now.
Yeah, that, and then, we heard that word right after we were talking about the,
Oh, the squealing, like the gurney, yeah.
Yeah, right before that, we were talking about all the lines on the floor.
The scuff marks on the floor.
Yeah. I'm like, it could have been hospital beds from years ago or whatever, and then right after that, that's when we heard that squeal, like the old rusty wheels rolling down
All
the hall.
stuck? Was it like a...
Well, that...
Or was it...
That portion of the hospital was actually like the ER. Like that's where the ambulances would pull up. And like we were actually in a room right next to like a little hallway where they would pull you off the ambulance and like roll you in. It was almost like, I guess, like a triage room or whatever. And we were actually, I think me and Josh were standing out in the hallway and we were like, look at all the scuff marks on the floor, like where they were rolling gurneys or beds or whatever down the hall. Well, then we go in this room and start session, and and what's crazy is like I had like a voice recorder going. You don't hear it on the voice recorder, but you hear it plain as day, and we all audibly heard it. But you hear it on the live video that we had going. Plus, we all audibly heard it, and we were literally like 2 minutes before that standing in the hallway talking about the scuff marks on the floor and what it could be from, and then like 2 minutes later, you actually hear it. So it was kind of crazy.
Like, this is really happening.
And for it to pick up on, like, the live video, but, like, it didn't pick up on the voice recorder was kind of crazy, too.
Well, that happens sometimes. Sometimes you'll get the EVP and it won't be on the recorder. Sometimes it'll be on both, or sometimes it'll just be on the camera. It's weird how different media picks it up.
Well, because, like, the voice recorders, to me, they were, like, so sensitive. Like, they pick up every little detail, like you have to be so still because it picks up every little thing. And for it not to pick up on the voice recorder, but on the live, I was like, I would think it would almost be the other way around,
That's
but it
interesting.
wasn't.
I wonder why.
Yeah.
Maybe it's because
and then,
it's
like
a constant
that,
energy instead of like a smaller energy, like a battery or something.
I'm not sure, but like we had done, like at this point in time, like we were just kind of like doing a walkthrough almost and doing a live and kind of showing everybody like the location or whatnot. And I had walked out of that room and was looking like down the hall, like towards the psych ward, and I see this figure like jet across the hall. Well, Tommy comes walking out the door at the same time, and like I just kept my eye on the hallway, and I told Tommy, I was like, I need you to go back in that room and come back out, because I originally thought it was like his shadow, because like there was like a glass doorway further down, and I was like, well, that could have just been his.
Funny.
I was like, that could, yeah. I was like, go back in that room and come back out again. Well, he did that, and I was like, nope. I was like, that wasn't him. But it was literally like, it was this hunched over figure, but it was like black and had long extended arms, long fingers. But if this thing would have been standing upright, it probably would have been close to 7 foot tall.
Right.
And at this point, we were like, okay, well, we need to go outside for a minute. Well, then we get outside, and Josh was like, well, we weren't in there very long. We were only in there like 30 minutes. And I was like, Josh, you realize, like, because I'm looking at the time, and I was like, you realize we've been in there for like 2 hours? And he was like, no way. And I was like, yeah, we've been in there for like 2 hours. And he got to look in, and he was like, yeah, we have been. I was like, yeah, from now on, we're setting timers when we go in there.
Like, it just felt like you was stepping through a portal when you walked in there. It just felt so different.
Another realm.
Yeah.
And that actually, it had happened to me, and Tara said I could say her name on here, and like she approved it because she listened to our last podcast, and I didn't want to say her name, but she said I could. So hey, Tara,
wish you were
oh my God, she is like the kindest soul, Tessa. Oh my God, like you would love Tara, like love her, like she has got the greatest spirit. Anyway, I love you, girl. If you're listening to us right now, just know that you're my fave. But me and her decided we were going to go in one day, like just do kind of like an initial, because I hadn't been in there in a while, and I was trying to bring Tommy and Josh in, and I was like, well, we're going to go spend the day up there. So me and her go in, just me and her. We literally went in at like 10 o'clock that morning, and we didn't come out till after dark. Well, it was about dark, probably. But like, and it literally felt like we had been in there like 2 hours, and we had been in there all day long.
It's like going into a casino.
All
those
day.
Dirty bastards.
It really is. I mean, you just get consumed with it. And like after like Tommy and Josh and us come up that night, and Josh was like, "Oh, it's only been 30 minutes," and I was like, "No, it's been maybe 2.5 hours we've been in there." Like, we started setting timers, and what was crazy at that point is because I would set a timer for us to go in and get set up, like I'd say like a 10-minute timer, depending on what area of the hospital we were going in, because it would take longer for us to get there. So I would set like a 10-minute timer for that for us to get there, get set up, and then we would do, I think it was like, at first we were doing like 30 minutes, and then I think we knocked it down to like 15. We would do like a 15-minute session, and like that timer would go off, and like the whole time we were doing that session, it was like it was quiet. Nothing was happening at all. But as soon as that timer would go off for us to go outside, it was like all this activity would start happening, and it would like distract us to where we would stay in there even longer. And I kept having to like reset the timers and tell them, "Hey, I've already reset this timer twice. That put us in here an extra 30 minutes. Like, we really need to go outside." Like, I kept saying that like all night, because it was like every time our session would end, like crazy activity would start happening.
I would have been like,
And,
Josh, like, I wouldn't have
like,
set a timer. I would have just been in there and been like, "Oh, it's all good. It's only been like 30 minutes.
No, there was something bad in there. There's a lot of bad in there. And like, what's crazy is the figure that I saw earlier in the night, we actually mapped in on the SLS. Like, we watched it come from human form to this like 7-foot tall figure. We actually mapped it in on the SLS.
So it wasn't
Yeah,
slouching and then straightened up. It grew into a larger form.
Well, for one, like, when I saw it, it was coming through a doorway. So, of course, it had to, like, slouch down to fit through the doorway.
I think
and
I've heard
actually
about that
cross
one,
the hall.
like the giant guy
Yes.
that's in there.
Like, it was insane. And I literally, I'd be like, okay, like, let's go take a break. And then it was like something else would happen, and then we would get consumed with it. And it's like, okay, at this point in time, we've been in here a whole nother hour.
Teamwork makes the dream work. Let's
know?
consume this energy of the living so we can remain. Because I think after a certain amount of time, they will die off. Although there are so many different locations that are so old and the spirit still remains. What kind of energy are they feeding off of? Why is the forest so quiet? I don't know.
Well, this location there, I mean, by far there are good spirits there. And we actually called a Class A EVP that night, because I was actually calling on some spirits to try to, like, come talk to us to get rid of, like, the negative energy that was there. Mm-hmm. And when I reviewed this EVP, like, plain as day, you hear it come across, and it's like, "Hello, people. Like, hey, I'm glad you're here to talk to me." Like, it was really cool, because we were so on edge that night. Like, literally, like, when I tell you, we were all like, we don't want to go back in there. Like, that's how bad it was. And so to know that, like, there's still good spirits there, like, willing to communicate and want you there and want to tell their story, like, it was good knowing that there's so much bad there too, you know?
Well, yeah, and if there's a lot of bad, the light is still more powerful than the bad. I don't know. As long as you have light there, you're safe, I think. It's still scary, but I think you'll be okay.
Well, it was just odd for us three to be like, we really don't want to go back in here. Like, we're all three really uneasy and just not ourselves. Like, it just feels bad in there. Like, you're literally scanning the room everywhere you go, looking down the hallway, not wanting your back turned to anything. Mm-hmm. Like, it was just bad the whole night. Well, I say that. It wasn't that bad when we first got there in the daylight, but once it got dark, like, the whole energy of the place changed.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Yeah, once the sun went down, that was it.
Whole nother town.
Yeah. Big time.
And, I mean, I'm sure it's like a mixture of stuff, too, because there's squatters going in this building. And you can tell because
too.
Of the markings on the wall. Like, there's people going in there and doing rituals and whatnot, like, because there's symbols all over the place. And that's one thing we have to be on the lookout for, too, while we're there, is because we know there's squatters coming in the building. So, of course, all that energy on top of the energy that's all already there is just, like, fueling all of this. You know, it's almost like the perfect storm. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Yeah, you know, and I personally think, too, that over the years, people doing all those rituals and whatever they're doing in there, I think that drew more negative energy than what actually happened there when the hospital was up and running.
Yeah, it's amplifying it.
And the land itself actually has Indian ties as well.
Oh my gosh,
so,
yes.
I mean, there's just a whole lot going on here.
That's all you need right
lot.
there. End of recipe. You're good.
Yeah, right? I think we all three left, though, that night with, like, different things happening or whatever. But, like, we're wanting, because Tara actually has permission to use the building, and she's wanting to do a haunted house there and stuff. But with the evil presence that's there right now, like, she didn't feel comfortable doing a haunted house there this year. So we're going to try to go in and get rid of whatever this bad energy is there to where she can do a haunted house there next year. And then hopefully maybe we can even host some events there. But right now it's really not safe for just general public to come in. And
it's kind of like that with, like, okay, so in Salt Lake City and other places, people go to abandoned warehouses or whatever. They'll set up haunted house. Things are already kind of haunted, but once you put all that energy of fear and everything else, I think other things are attracted. Yeah, amplifies it. Other things attracted because, oh, here's a beacon of energy. Let me go feed off of that. And so it causes other things to happen. People are being followed home by these different entities, etc. So generally people will do some sort of release, but in all actuality, if you have a release and people sign it, you're just basically saying, you know, that something is wrong here and you know something could happen to them, and you're basically stating your guiltiness for them to sign on. So it doesn't protect you. It protects you from the general person that doesn't know that, but there are quite a few out there that will be like, I'm going to sue these people, and then that's when you can lose your shit. So you got to be careful with that. But
that's why we're trying to take every precaution, and I'm glad that, like, Tara's over it, because she's been there enough to kind of have her own experiences and kind of know what's there. So when she was like, hey, I'm going to take a, step back this year on the haunted house, I was like, I think that is a great idea until we can kind of get a hold on things here.
So when we're going back?
Yeah, when we're going back?
Whenever y'all get ready. I'm ready when y'all are.
Well, put your shoes on, bitch. We're going. I'm just kidding.
I think that's just one of those locations, though, that I think, like, no matter how much you prep yourself for,
you can't.
Like, you're never really, like, ready. Like, and I think that was kind of their experience with it, which, like, I've been there, and I've been there after that night, and it's been calm, cool, collected. Like, I was cool keeping my back to the hallway.
That's what I'm saying.
Like,
when you take different people,
but, like,
there's different energies, so it amps different things
night,
up.
Yeah,
what
but,
cocktail
like,
are you using tonight?
It was insane, but I will tell you this, like, I don't know how comfortable I am going back at night again.
Well, until you are, just go during the day, because it doesn't have to be nighttime to be the right time.
Oh, I mean, I know that
my
too,
best
but
one happened early in the morning, which I hate mornings. I didn't want to go, but it was awesome. I'm glad I did. Well, you guys,
but I've just been there so much during the day, and it's like after that sun goes down on that place, like it just takes a whole new meaning. Like
it's like a whole nother world.
It is.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
Shift change.
Yeah. Well,
on that note, you guys, we're in the last 5 minutes of our time, so I want to make sure anything that you would like to share, your website, how to contact you guys, etc., is covered before we run out of time, because I don't want to cut you off, because that stuff is important. So could you tell our listeners how to contact you, where to find your videos, and different things that you guys are doing?
Lindie.
Why is it always me?
Lindie, take it away, gal.
It's always me, but yet they're like the co-founders of this group, right?
Hey, they're
like,
the
Lindie,
seniorities in this group.
Go talk about it.
You're the newbie. You got to share the info, okay? Let's go.
You can go look us up on Facebook. It's Tangipahoa Parish Paranormal Society. We do a lot of lives and stuff on there. Hopefully after the first year we'll be doing some other events as well, but we don't really have like a website or anything that I know of, unless Josh has been working on that.
It's in the process, but we always work.
And we also have a YouTube channel under Tangi Paranormal.
Tangi Paranormal?
Yeah, see, I didn't know that. See? But
That's
yeah, like, I
cute.
mean, you can always, like, we're always looking for new locations too, guys. So if y'all are close to us, or even not even close to us, we'll plan a trip to come and help you or do whatever we got to do. Hit us up. You can message our Facebook page, and we'll get back to you. One of us will, anyway.
That's right.
Heck yeah.
Exactly.
So
And
okay,
y'all,
so it's
make
not
sure y'all
websites.
go look into the.
Go ahead.
I just want to throw it out there too. Y'all go look into the Save Waverly petition too, and sign that and hit them up too. It's for a good cause.
So it's through Ernie and Denise Pack, PACK.
Yep, go check out their
Save
page.
Waverly Hills.
And I think Howard has some stuff on his page too, and maybe
I just
Eileen,
can't believe like all the huge groups that have been in there and all the history with this. And I've seen buildings on videos that are immensely decayed compared to this place. And they're not shutting it down. So like you're saying, it's probably because of money. They want more money to keep it open or something stupid like that. Like
I don't know that they're like trying to actually like shut it down. There's just a whole lot going on with that.
they're
Just go look
trying
into
to
it
squeeze
and
the
see.
entryway. I don't know.
Yeah, but I think Howard Petrie has some stuff on his teams, and then Eileen has some stuff on her page, and then of course Denise and Ernie have stuff on their page too. But just go look into it and you know, do your research on it and get involved with it. It's for a good cause. So
Yeah, they're not actually trying to shut it down. They're just trying to turn it into like a, you know, like I said earlier, a college dorm or apartment.
Okay, that would be just like feeding what's there. That would not be a good idea.
well, I mean, that's what
Why
I
do
said
not
too.
spend
But
that
also,
money
I know
and
like
build a
they're.
whole nother entity? Like, that is not a good idea at all.
Well, I know too. They were trying to change some of the stories of the spirits there and whatnot too. And like those spirits are there to have their voice heard, and like we should hear it and not try to change it.
And
I mean,
pollute
that's
it with
part of the
college
history,
drama.
you know. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like so.
Yeah, and like I said too, the people that are trying to take over it are not into the paranormal. They make fun of the paranormal field, I guess. So.
Oh, good. I wish they would live there for a little bit and then tell me that.
Yeah, that's what I said too.
Yeah, go live there for a little bit and then come back and tell me you don't
words.
believe. Yeah,
And
give me
I
a
said
break.
that too with them making dorms of it or whatever. Okay, well let's just go feed that and have all these.
Makes
kids,
me
like,
wonder if they're
tormented with
trying
these
to
spirits.
act like they're ignorant in order to get people in there, young energy to feed off of. I think they have a different agenda, really.
Yeah.
That's what it sounds like to me. This sounds very dark and not cool. Not cute in the poo.
Poo noodle.
Need to get them a poo noodle.
They need a poo noodle. Save these poor college kids. Sign this petition.
You know, like my whole thing is that, you know, these people, Charlie and his wife's, whatever her name is, I forgot. They own this building. So how can somebody else just swoop in and, you know, put a lawsuit on them?
They gotta fight it.
But not only that, if their house got damaged in like a flood or whatever, like, how can you not feel bad for these people? And they own this property. Like, let them stay there while their house is being worked on. Like, where is an issue with that? Like, if they're comfortable staying there, let them stay there.
Yep, it's fucking with the agenda. But unfortunately, you guys, I have to cut you off. I want to hear more, so give me a couple minutes, then we can talk about it more. But thank you so much again, Miss Lindie and Josh, and holy shit, Tommy.
Twinkie fingers.
Tommy Twinkie Fingers. Thank you so much
Yes, Lord.
for hanging out with me this evening. Have a wonderful time.
Oh,
Well, thank you for having me.
It
we'll
was
come back
awesome.
anytime, Tessa.
Heck yeah. I'll get a hold of you for next month because I definitely want to have you guys back to talk about different random shit if you're up for it.
Always.
Oh, yeah, always.
And thank you to, excuse me, all of our friends on We Are Paradox Media's KPNL Radio, Facebook, Twitter, Periscope, iHeartRadio, wherever else, beyond the Omniverse, you may be listening tonight. Had a wonderful time, and I can't wait to do it again. Tomorrow night we have the Who Murdered series by Stephen Udini. We're going to be talking about who murdered FDR, who murdered Elvis, who fucking murdered Diana. We're going to talk about this shit. Probably even who murdered Marilyn Monroe and so many different artists. If you guys have any questions about artists that you think did not die naturally, they were actually murdered, get in the chat room or call in 970-335-9596 and ask your question, because there are so many different accounts of different people that are killed that are not natural. Who murdered? They didn't die, they were killed. So you guys, don't forget, we are all in this together. Together, we can make the world a little better. And together, my friends, we are Paradox Media, because without you, there is no us. Until next time, nighty night, love and light. Have a wonderful rest of your weekend, and I'll see you